Introducing first, speaking out of Akron, Ohio, representing Team Popping the Boys, the headline god, Jeremy Lambert, and his co-host, speaking out of Atlanta, Georgia, representing more than one royal family, the king of indie viewing, Stephen Jensen. And this is the Spotlight on Fightful.
Hello, welcome everyone to the Spotlight here on Fightful. Shout out to the great MLJ, Big Dick Emil, for doing a special intro for us. We got banned. The copyright on Big Dick Dave expired. So MLJ, who does the ring announcing for GCW, he put that together. He did the introduction there for us. So thank you, MLJ. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yes, thank you, Emil. Very, very much appreciated. The best in the game.
He is. He's fighting Denise Salcedo. I guess I don't need to do the intros now. Emil just does it. We can just jump right into things. Before we jump right into things, though, Jensen, I do want to give a shout out to our pal Cher Delaware. She's going through surgery today. You can go to her page, Cher Delaware, donate to GoFundMe. Subscribe to her OF if that's your style. However you can support her to help her with what she's going through right now, please do that. So shout out to Cher. She's been on the show before. She's done the bit with the Stardust bit that you did. She committed to the bit so much she got a Stardust tattoo. So hope everything goes well for her today. Jensen, you ready to talk about a lot going on in the world of wrestling?
I am. Let's do it, man.
Here we go. We're going to start with our AEW Spotlight.
Over 1 million fans and a great number in the demo tuned in. And it was a great show, and I think it's been a run of great shows.
A lot happened last night on AEW Dynamite, Stephen Jensen, and it got off to a banging start with Jeffrey Jarrett, who just secures the bag everywhere he goes. He made a surprise appearance. He knocked out Darby Allin with a guitar. He cut a 20-minute promo, I'm pretty sure. And then it was announced that he is a business director in AEW. So he is officially all elite, Jeff Jarrett is. I mean, I'd say I'm surprised that Jeff Jarrett showed up in AEW, but I'm not, because I feel Jeff Jarrett this is what he does, right? He's everywhere. He's been in AAA this year. He was on SummerSlam. He worked for WWE earlier. He's GCW beating all their top guys. Jeff Jarrett's everywhere.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. It's wild because the way he's left some of these companies too recently, because he was signed to the WWE and then gone, and then you know what I mean. It feels like he's popping up places. It feels like he's gonna be there for a while. And then he's gone all of a sudden, but then he resurfaces somewhere else. Then of course he has his podcast with Conrad and everything. So there's so he's out there. He's out there in the wrestling world, and the wrestling fans are talking about him pretty consistently. It's pretty crazy because honestly, this feels maybe kind of the freshest Jeff Jarrett has felt in a long time in a lot of ways, as weird as that sounds, because he's in such good shape. You know what I mean? He looks like he can just go. I know he had the match with Ric Flair's, last match and everything, quote unquote last match. Don't believe that. But you know what I'm saying? It just kind of feels like when I remember my brother saying something when we were watching, what was it, SummerSlam, where he was the special referee?
Yeah.
I remember my brother turning to me because he hadn't seen the GCW stuff, and my brother turned to me and he was like, dude, Jeff Jarrett's in incredible shape. He was this guy looks like he could be the champion now. Because he was wearing the cutoff referee sleeves. And I was like, yeah, dude, Jeff's killing it right now, dude. I mean, we gotta give him credit. It's funny because he was so hated, especially in the early 2000s. The late 90s, early 2000s WCW run, depending on how big of a WCW fan you are, that's the whole NWO silver and black thing didn't work for most people, and I get that. And then Jeff Jarrett and TNA and him becoming like the Triple H, like holding people down there and stuff like that, and like winning the title over and over again. for people who don't know, like Jeff Jarrett was like one of like the most hated figures in wrestling back in those days. But now I feel like it's come full circle, and it's like I feel like the fans kind of love Jeff Jarrett now. Now, at the very least, you got to respect the hustle and the ability to just pop up all these places. I mean, it's pretty. I will tell you what, I didn't expect to see Jeff Jarrett pop up last night and hit Darby Allin with a guitar. I didn't expect to see that.
The man secures the bag. Whatever you got to say about Jeff Jarrett, the man just finds a way to stick around, and not just stick around, but like stay super relevant in major companies. It's not like, I mean, he has the podcast with Conrad, but like everybody has the podcast nowadays. Kevin Nash gets a lot of credit, rightfully so, for just securing the bag and being a great worker for not doing too much work. Like Jarrett's got him beat, man. This man was selling gold bars. He had people convinced to buy gold bars for a company that went nowhere, but then he sold that company to Impact, or partnered with Impact, so he could get back in their good graces. Goes to WWE, goes to GCW, now in AEW. He's working behind the scenes. I'm cool with Jeff Jarrett working behind the scenes because it sounds like from multiple parties, he was doing a good job at that role at WWE when he was director of like live events. And then, you know, Triple H was like, we're going to give this spot to Road Dogg. This is 1996 all over again. Or I guess 95. This is 95, 96 all over again. The Click doesn't like Jeff Jarrett. We're going to give this spot to our pal, the Roadie, and you're out of here. And then Jeff's like, all right, let me come over to AEW here and start doing their live event development. So the interesting thing to me here is Tony Khan said, and I want to make sure I get this tweet correct. So Jeff Jarrett is the director of business of development, and Tony Khan said, I look forward to expanding the AEW live events calendar in 2023. Do we think that AEW is going to now run house shows in 2023? Because they haven't done that. It's always just been television. They ran the House Always Wins show way back when, that no one is apparently ever going to see in history. But are we thinking that house shows are coming for AEW? Because I feel like it is.
I feel like it probably is also based on the tweet. When last night when I saw the Jeff Jarrett is all elite graphic, I was like, wow, this is real. That's wild. Excuse me. I think that they'll probably do house shows. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I mean, obviously they would. Tony Khan and the powers in charge at AEW wouldn't do it if they thought it was a bad idea. Obviously, I don't see the purpose in. I shouldn't say I don't see the purpose in house shows. I do, but I feel like I don't know. Ever since the pandemic, I feel like there's just less and less emphasis on like the need for something like that. Like I feel like doing house shows occasionally is a cool thing, and it could be a big money maker, but it could also be a big like money pit if people aren't really like coming to these live events either. You know, I have faith in AEW's ability to draw. They've had a great track record up through like the first 3 years or whatever that they've been around, but I kind of think a big part of what makes them as like attractive as they are is that they don't. Well, I mean, I know they're on like AEW Dark and Elevation and Rampage and stuff, but like there's a lot of the viewership that just watches Dynamite and maybe Rampage and then catches it kind of fills in the blanks. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where I just don't know. Like I don't know if if the fan base necessarily needs the extra house shows when I feel like their current business model is doing them pretty well, in my opinion.
I think live events can be a good thing as long as you're not running too many. I mean, WWE live event business was way down before the pandemic, and I think it's ticked up a little bit just because people were excited to see live action again. But their house show schedule is like too much. Sometimes they run 2 a night on the weekends because they have the split brands. Sometimes they only do 2 per the weekend. I think if AEW can stick to something like just run every Saturday, maybe in like the smaller markets, because you do need to hit some of these smaller markets and just see what your business is going to be like in these markets. Is they run Chicago every single month. Okay, we know they can go there and be fine, but they need to start running like some smaller markets and just see like, all right, maybe we can run bigger here because there is a demand on this stuff. if you just keep it at one a week, maybe a Saturday, if you don't have, I don't know if you want to run it the same night as a taped Rampage, but a Friday, maybe even like a Sunday night type of thing. Saturday might be, are we going to go see wrestling that night? But obviously it's going to be a weekend show. And then when you have the pay-per-view, you're obviously not going to run it a pay-per-view weekend. I think they can get away with doing one show on the weekend, though, in some smaller markets, just to see how their business would do in some of these areas of the country. So we'll see if they end up going the live event route. It seems like it could be coming. Maybe Tony is just talking about, they're going to have ROH TV soon. That seems very likely for 2023. Tony seems very confident about that. That's going to add another event to their schedule unless they tape that before Rampage and they move into just a live Rampage every single week, because right now it's starting to become live every week, but for the majority of its run, it's been taped after Dynamite. If they add ROH either as a weekly show on its own or taped before Rampage, that's going to increase their schedule regardless, because ROH is actually a show you're going to have to put thought and talent into, where if you're just taping Dark and Dark Elevation, you don't need to just like, hey, here's this squash match, which Joey Janela finds boring. So that's going to increase their live event schedule a little bit as well. I think we're just going to get more AEW in 2023. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't think it remains to be seen. If it's just live event stuff, I don't think it's a bad thing. If they're going to try to just like do more television, obviously if it's ROH separately, it's fine. There's definitely, AEW is definitely a little bit down when it comes to ticket sales and flat when it comes to ratings and everything right now. I don't think you want to continue to feed this and just overdo things, because that's what leads to burnout and everything. And you can only have so many surprises when it comes to this kind of stuff. But if it's live event stuff, it's just running some smaller shows in some smaller markets. Fans get a chance to, in North Dakota or whatever, get a chance to see Jon Moxley. Cool. Good on it. As far as Jeff Jarrett as a television character, I mean, I just assume he's going to win the AEW World title at Full Gear. He's going to win the tournament. He's going to be in the title eliminator tournament. He's going to win that. And then winter is coming. AEW World Champion Jeff Jarrett crowned. Ed Winter is coming. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that we're going to be getting a big-time tag team match soon between Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett versus Sting and Darby Allin as well. So that'll
Seems
be
like that's happening.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll. Yeah, Maggie. Yeah, you put Shinsuke in the title of the video, Jeremy.
Oh, somebody catch me on this.
I caught it right as we were going live and forgot to say anything about it. Thank you, Maggie. Shinsuke Nakamura. We'll be talking about him a little bit later. I think Jeremy's trying to fix that. Everybody. That's okay. No, thanks, Maggie, for saying something about it and so helping us. But yeah, I'm excited for Jeff Jarrett in AEW. Like I popped for it last night. Me and you were actually busy as it was happening, and then I caught it afterwards. I was like, wait a second, Jeff Jarrett just debuted. What just happened?
I was watching it while we were like recording.
You just didn't say anything?
I didn't say anything because I didn't want to spoil it for you.
No, I appreciate that. I actually do appreciate that. So, but yeah. You got that edited, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm editing it. I don't know if we need to see Jeff Jarrett on television every single week doing different things. I mean, we didn't have any MJF last night. MJF was just out, nothing regarding him, and then here's Jeff Jarrett doing 20-minute promos.
Dude, I've heard more and more. By the way, we don't have to deep dive into this because it isn't one of our topics, but like I hear there's a lot of people that think that the whole MJF thing is like, it isn't there's two schools of thought. Either it's a babyface turn, or because he's the devil, he let them beat the hell out of him. And that's like part of the story. You know what I mean?
I've heard that, that's a theory that's out there, is that this is all a plan and he's not really turning babyface. I mean, we'll see what happens. Full Gear's in a couple of weeks now. It feels like a mistake leaving MJF off of television, but I understand like letting stuff breathe a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd take MJF off TV at all. I guess you can't keep doing promos and stuff. And you had the Firm there. You had Moxley there. But yeah, taking your hottest guy off TV for a week, just a couple weeks out from the pay-per-view, is tough. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure the ratings will be out, later on today. And I don't know if MJF not being there is going to have any huge impact, but if it does, then I'm sure he'll tweet about it. He'll be like, "Oh, this is what happens when Daddy's not on the show." Man. They got to stop doing the same finish at the end of every damn show, though. Wardlow and Joe stuff. It's here comes Wardlow to save Joe. Here comes Joe to save Wardlow, and then maybe somebody else gets attacked. Book a new finish, Tony.
Yeah. And then Hobbs, and it's like, because it looks like they're going to make an alliance where like Hobbs is, at least they're teasing he's going to be with the embassy, or it's
I don't think he is.
I don't know if he will either, but I just think it's interesting that like it's him and Brian Cage, which was like Team Taz before. You know what I mean? It's like we already seen this kind of in a way,
Shady,
anyway.
why are you salty? Were you at the show last night and you didn't get to see MJF? I would like to know your saltiness.
Hope you're not salty over us. By the way, if you want to send a super chat, we'll make sure to put it on the screen, read your questions, and answer your questions, read your statements, all that kind of stuff. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. We appreciate that.
Leave us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. My spotlight this week, Jensen, is Shibata. This was a big surprise. I mean, Jeff Jarrett was a big surprise, but Katsuyori Shibata showing up to save Orange Cassidy. Not only to save Orange Cassidy, sign the contract. We are getting Shibata against Orange Cassidy on Rampage tomorrow. Shibata's done 2 matches since returning. He did the exhibition match against Zack Sabre Jr., and then he had like an actual match against Ren Narita. And now he's facing Orange Cassidy. According to Meltzer, he wants to face Bryan Danielson. Look, I'm all for Shibata in AEW, especially when we didn't think this guy would be wrestling ever again. This is a great return. This was a huge surprise that Shibata is going to be wrestling in an AEW ring tomorrow night.
Yeah, I love this. And on top of how just badass it is that this match is going to happen, I think it's very smart that they put it on Rampage, because like even as a diehard AEW fan myself, like I miss Rampage pretty often, for either doing other stuff on a Friday night, or like there might be other independent wrestling shows that I want to watch live and I can kind of, catch up on AEW later and stuff like that. And this is a guaranteed way to get people like me to tune into Rampage. Like I'm not going to miss Shibata versus Orange Cassidy live. Like that's awesome. I'm a huge Shibata fan. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and also one of the biggest what if kind of stories in wrestling history due to his injuries, and it's very Danielson-esque in a lot of ways, which makes sense that the two of them would wrestle each other at some point soon too, and they both have interest in wrestling each other. But like when Shibata went out with his injury that's kept him out for all these years, it looked like he was really finally being positioned as like potentially one of the next guys for the world title. Which at the time, that world title was like, I mean, it's still to this day, it's very hard to achieve, like the IWGP World Championship. But back then, especially because of just how stacked that roster was with like established talent at the top, and because he was there, he got hurt. I can't remember the exact timeline, but I gotta believe it was like right around like the Okada and Kenny matches, and like Nakamura probably was there or had just left.
It was 2017.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm right around there, right? Bullet Club was like still a thing, or like maybe it just. The point is like New Japan had a lot of buzz. They had a ton of talent, and Shibata looked like he was like really one of those breakout guys. Like who was going to be the world champion at some point in the near future, and
he got hurt in the match with Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title.
Right. And he was having like bangers with Ishii. I know those guys wrestled each other like for years and years before and stuff. But like my whole point is like Shibata, like seeing Shibata wrestling ever again is great. Like, it's awesome that we're even getting to see it, and we're getting to see it in AEW. Orange Cassidy, I can see why some people might be like, this is kind of a weird choice, but the two guys do know each other, and like there is like some history there. But I mean, let me put it this way, and I think I kind of know where you're getting at a little bit with like bringing up Danielson. I think we're still going to get Danielson and Shibata. Like, I think that will happen at like a big pay-per-view, probably Forbidden Door or something like that. But like,
I think that might. I was going to say Wrestle Kingdom, but they're in Seattle that Wednesday for Dynamite, saying that, and like Danielson ain't missing that one.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, you know, like it'd be one thing if it was like, okay, we only get one Shibata match in AEW. We got to choose one person. And if they chose Orange Cassidy, I could see people being like, all right, that's awesome, but like Danielson's right there. But if we're getting both of these matches, how awesome is that? We get an Orange Cassidy Shibata match on Rampage, and then we get Danielson Shibata at Forbidden Door or something like that. I mean, that's, and like you said, what a surprise. I didn't expect it at all. I heard the theme music and I was like, this has to be a mistake. Like, what? And then here comes Shibata, man. That was awesome. And here's another layer to this too. This really, in my opinion, legitimizes the importance of the All Atlantic Championship, because, like, no disrespect to Pac. Pac's one of the best performers in the world. The guy's awesome, and I was happy to see him with that championship, but it just felt like it was kind of, I don't know, it's like lost in the mix. Like, there's no real like identity to the title outside of like you put like your country's flag on, you know, you're kind of on your back when you challenge for this title and stuff. But like now it's like, okay, Orange Cassidy has the title. Where's this going to go? Because Orange Cassidy's kind of a comedy wrestler, but he's like really over in AEW, and he is a great in-ring worker, represents America. You know, so it's like, okay, I'm interested to see where this goes. But then it's like, oh, Shibata's interested in winning this title. Okay, that puts us on a different level now. Because like, if we're going to have challengers like Shibata popping in for this thing, like that's, you know, and so I think it accomplishes a lot. It gets people to tune into Rampage on Friday that might not otherwise tune in on Friday nights. It legitimizes the championship even more because Shibata wants to go after it. It's going to be a badass match, and it's just a giant win all the way around, in my opinion.
They need something for Rampage, because I feel the cards lately have been just sort of weak, and like this is a big match to be like, oh, okay, Rampage feels actually special on this one. I don't know how much Shibata appeals to the casual fan, but certainly appeals to me as a big time wrestling fan who covers a bunch of different companies and everything. It's just great to see him wrestle again. I did not have on my bingo card his third match back being in an AEW ring. I think Orange Cassidy is a good opponent for a variety of reasons. I don't know how healthy Shibata is. He wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. in an exhibition grappling match. He wrestled Ren. He took some shots in that match, but relatively safe. Orange Cassidy, a relatively safe style. You know, he's going to do his kicks, the punch. He's not going to go full on take your head off type of thing. Danielson can do that, but Danielson can also just go straight technical match and really protect a guy. I don't know how healthy Shibata is, how much he's willing to do or can do. I feel like he's willing to do whatever because he's a crazy man. But I don't know how safe they want to be with him. I assume it'd be relatively safe, and that's why he's going to get the opponents he gets. They did tease Shibata and Ospreay for Forbidden Door. See, Ospreay's a guy where I don't know if I want to go in there against that guy, and because Ospreay will take your damn head off, and are they willing to risk something like that? Not sure. Shady is very fired up about AEW Dynamite and how it has lost its way with things.
Hey, I know she's not the, or I shouldn't say, I can't see the avatar from here, but Shady, you're not alone. I know there is a good chunk of the fan base that kind of feels that way right now, for a lot of different reasons. And they also mentioned Orange Cassidy is the avatar for the US, which actually is funny how they've because that kind of is true, like the lazy American stereotype or whatever. But yeah.
We're all fucking lazy here in America.
Yeah.
Taking a nap after this show.
I'm working for 8 hours after this show, 9 hours after this show.
Sounds awful. a special spotlight, Jensen, when it comes to AEW.
I'm old and I'm fucking tired, and I work with fucking children. I'm tired of wrestling these kids that think they know everything.
So CM Punk is off television, probably not going to be back. Who was back last night, Stephen Jensen?
Boom, boom, boom. Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana was back challenging for the ROH World Championship. What a massive dick swinging move by Tony. And I think Chris Jericho as well, because Jericho, who reportedly aired his grievances with Punk after everything, was probably like, let's just give Colt this match. All right, let's get Colt out here and let's do this. Punk ain't coming back. Just right there to CM Punk, it felt like. I popped for this. What a move. What a move by these guys. What a move.
Well, the second I heard that theme song, I said out loud, I was like, okay, so Punk's not coming back. Okay, they pretty much just confirmed that right now. Dude, y'all know how I feel about Punk. I don't need to get into all of that. I'll say, y'all know, here's the thing. Y'all know how I feel about Punk. Y'all know how I feel about Jericho. I think Jericho's the GOAT. I love this kind of stuff. I think you're exactly right in everything you just said. And yeah, we'll see what the future for CM Punk looks like. He can't go back to fighting. He might be able to go back to the WWE, but there's a lot of reasons why I feel like that's probably not a great idea in the long term for the WWE and for probably CM Punk. I have no idea what his other options are. He's not going to wrestle the Indies. He's not going to. I mean, I know a company like Impact Wrestling, I'm sure would die to have him, but like that's not going to ever work out. They got to pay out the ass to get him, and then deal with what you got to deal with. Just. See, here we go. Stephen Jensen addresses his enemies. I'm not doing this again this week. Once again, listen, I'll say it one more time. CM Punk's AEW run was incredible. It really, really was. From his return against Darby through the Kingston stuff, the MJF stuff was literally some of the best stuff I've ever seen in the history of pro wrestling. The dog collar match, incredible. CM Punk's run in AEW on screen, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Got to give him all the credit in the world. But at this point, I don't think he's worth the headache. And
he's gonna show up at Bellator. That's where CM Punk's gonna go.
I mean, they could afford him. Bellator's backed by Viacom.
Do you think Kai brings up a good point? You should box some YouTubers. How much does CM Punk against Jake Paul draw?
The problem is though, a lot of people don't understand. I'm not saying Kai doesn't, specifically, but the reason that CM Punk probably wouldn't box YouTubers is because a lot of those guys would destroy him.
Jake Paul would knock him out so quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, Jake Paul just beat Anderson Silva. People can have their opinions of how legitimate that is or whatever. Listen, Anderson Silva, even though he's 47 years old, that's still Anderson Silva, one of the greatest strikers in the history of combat sports, one of the best MMA fighters ever. And Jake Paul is a guy who hasn't been training for very long, only fights once a year, and legitimately knocked Anderson on his ass in the 8th round. But yes, to your point, he would knock out CM Punk literally within seconds, within the first couple punches thrown. It would unquestionably. But here's the thing: CM Punk could do all right against here's the thing: even the levels down, there's Supreme Patty and KSI and those guys would all destroy CM Punk also. So we're talking it would have to be CM Punk versus Aaron Carter for it to be competitive. And I just don't see
that shit.
Dude, I agree. Because also, to be fair, I would take Aaron Carter if I'm being completely honest. I saw Aaron Carter box Lamar Odom, and just once again,
that fight ruled.
Yeah, and Aaron Carter is not a good fighter, but CM Punk's terrible. So so that's my whole. People get so mad about me talking about this too. And that's why I don't like going down the rabbit hole, because it sounds like I'm just this giant hater. But I'm really not. It's just, unfortunately for y'all, I follow combat sports really closely. I follow boxing. I follow influencer boxing. I follow mixed martial arts. So I've seen it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? And so have a lot of other people. I'm not the only one who says this stuff. So. Anyway,
CM Punk against Dad. Our old pal.
That would destroy him, dude. It wouldn't even be close. See, that's the thing. Like Salt Bay or Salt Poppy and like all those guys would destroy CM Punk in a real fight. Like, and that's the problem is like if you're Punk, you don't want to take those fights because like you don't want to get knocked out by some hype beast 22-year-old YouTuber, TikToker, or whatever. It's embarrassing for someone like Punk, I'm sure. So he'd have to go against like the lowest hanging fruit and then still risk losing to that person, you know? So I just don't. You see, like, you'd have to be like Aaron Carter or like Skinny from the 9 or like one of these guys who just are really bad at boxing. But like here's a good one. So coming up in a couple weeks, we're gonna have Ice Poseidon versus Brandon Buckingham in influencer boxing. Depending on how bad those guys look, like I think Brandon's probably gonna look all right. Ice, I'm pretty concerned about, but like Ice Poseidon versus like CM Punk would be like interesting to me. Anyways.
I have no idea who these people are, but I'm all in on CM Punk doing celebrity boxing.
But this is once again, like, this is why you have to, like, people get mad at me for saying this kind of stuff. You got to listen to the names I'm saying, then look these people up if you want to. Well, I'm not going to fight anybody over it. Because there's actually been people that have been like, dude, you would never fight CM Punk for real. Like, you would never say these things to his face. And I'm like, no, I would never, like, go up to him trying to start a fight. Like, I'm not.
He might try to fight you.
But what I'm just saying, like, if you got in my face, I wouldn't be intimidated. If any other wrestler in the world did, I'd be like, yo, I'm sorry. Whatever I said. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever I said, I take back. You know what I mean? Any other wrestler in the world. If it was him, I just straight up wouldn't be intimidated. Like, it's just like, okay, like, what's your problem? You know? Like, I'm not lying about any of this stuff. I'm literally just telling the truth.
Somebody said, Luis said CM Punk should do the challenge. So the challenge is up against it airs on Wednesdays. So that's why I would take out AEW. CM Punk was on the challenge. He was on Champs vs. Pros. It didn't do too great. I'd actually like to see him. And Champs vs. Pros, very controlled environment. Like the celebrities get all their benefits and stuff. Lio Rush was like actually on the actual challenge. And I mean, he was doing fine, but just like being in that environment just was not good for Lio. And he said it, like, just mentally, for his mental health, it just wasn't for him. CM Punk mentally, Johnny Bananas would have this man just doing all types of mental gymnastics. Like, I don't know if Punk could handle that. And then you go into the physical challenge. This man's not super athletic. Like, some of these challenges they got to do, I don't know if he'd be able to do those either. But I'd love to see CM Punk on the challenge.
Yeah, and very injury prone as well. You know, like that's a big thing that needs to be said too on this AEW run. It isn't just like the how do I say it? It's not just the backstage issues. It isn't. It's like the putting the world title on him multiple times now, and like he's hurt. You know, so it's like there's so many layers to the Punk stuff that just make it like really unappealing for them to want to move forward with him in the company, in my opinion.
Because then you're foot doing a stage dive,
right? Yeah. Well, and then there's the whole dilemma of like he's too big of a star, like not to like push to a certain level in the company, but you can't put the world title on him again because look what's happened the last 2 times you put the title on him. So like it's tough. It's just I don't know where he fits in and also with his age. It's not like he's some young guy who's gonna like turn it all around all of a sudden. This is like the end of his career, like so. Or towards the end of his career. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what. I just don't know where he fits in. I could see him going to like New Japan potentially for like a Wrestle Kingdom or like something huge, maybe once a year, or like maybe like a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania or something. But I just don't see where he fits in. Because then also WWE, it's like when he goes back and like. You'll understand, like, you think I got enemies on this show? Like, CM Punk goes back, he has a whole list of people he doesn't get along with from, 10, 15, 20 years ago that are all throughout the WWE roster. Like, it's the same kind of thing you dealt with in AEW. People were like, oh, I can't believe he doesn't get along with this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy in AEW. Well, he doesn't have a good record of friendship with AJ Styles or Kevin Owens or, like, a lot of these guys are in the WWE right now, so, like, same thing. He's got a lot of enemies. So
CM Punk, Thanksgiving is coming up. Many years ago on Thanksgiving with Scotty Goldman, a man who shares a bank account with his mother, you did a very famous podcast airing your grievances with WWE. I don't know if you're friends with any podcasters nowadays. I assume Conrad Thompson has made you a significant offer to be on Best in the World, the podcast. I will make you not a significant offer because I'm broke. But if you would like to come on this podcast for our Thanksgiving edition, that's a Thursday. We run on a Thursday. We'll interview CM Punk. Putting it out there. Throw it out in the universe. Stephen Jensen.
Oh, yeah, like that's, dude. Oh, I'm in. I'm so in. I would love to talk to Phil. I think that
the most disrespectful thing, you called him Phil, you know he hates that. The most disrespectful thing ever was when Eddie Kingston was interviewed before All Out, and he's calling him Philip the whole time. And like, this is the most disrespectful thing that anybody has ever done to CM Punk, is call him Philip.
You know, honestly, I think I could have a legitimately like cordial conversation with him where we could literally we could have like a real good Here's the thing. I am super open-minded when it comes to pretty much everything. Like, even people that I dislike, I'm willing to hear their side of things, because there's sometimes things that I miss on, you know, that I'm totally wrong about. You know, I'm talking about this stuff from a fan perspective, but I know it isn't easy to do this stuff he's doing. Like, I still, even though I don't think he was a good fighter, he has massive balls for fighting the UFC. Like, I'm not. He made the walk, dude. I'm never. See, that's the thing people got to understand. Like, I'm a fan of the pro wrestler on screen of CM Punk, of Phil Brooks. The human being, I have some issues with. You know, when he left WWE, you guys got to remember, he didn't want to talk about wrestling. He didn't want to be referred to as a professional wrestler. He didn't want to talk to wrestling fans. He didn't want to like be approached by wrestling. Like, he kind of like shunned wrestling for a while, and kind of, then the MMA thing just like didn't work out. But once again, you got to give him so much credit for attempting it. But to be at the level he was at after 4 years of training, like, that's where I'm like, that's where you got to keep it real too, with like, what did he act, you know, but he made good money. And he's a guy I'd be very interested to pick his brain at the very least. Like, even if he came on here and called me a giant mark and said he would kick my ass and that I'm an idiot for saying the stuff I'm saying, you know, maybe I am. Honestly, like, I'd be very interested to hear his perspective. I want to hear his perspective on what happened, like how it got to this point in AEW. How did it get from you basically hugging Tony Khan and being like, I can't believe you're the guy who has the Ring of Honor library. I'm so happy to be a part of this. And like, I hope I'm the world champion. I want to help the young talent. And like, I'm going to do this right. And all the stuff I talked about 7 years ago, like, I can do it here and all this stuff. And how does it go from that, and within a year, to the stuff, the post-fight presser and like actually fighting people backstage? Like, I'm just so interested, because hey, there's probably stuff he'd bring up and I'd be like, you know what? Damn, I didn't know that. That actually, that makes sense. But maybe he says something, I'm like, oh yeah, you're still very much in the wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know. But until we get these answers, none of us know. All we know is the Young Bucks aren't on TV. Kenny's not on TV. They're teasing they're coming back. We don't know where CM Punk is. The titles have all been vacated. You know, we don't really have any answers. So it just is what it is.
Kai says, do one of those fake interviews where you cut up a CM Punk to answer your question. I hate those. As someone who listens to wrestling interviews all day, like when I search for like new stuff to listen to, absolutely hate those. There's a Logan Paul interview going around that like 5 people are claiming is an exclusive with Logan Paul, and it's all from the same interview that they just cut and are just airing and taking it as their own. I absolutely hate it. Somebody does these with like Sasha Banks interviews as well. I hate people who do that. So no, definitely not doing that. But, you know, if this clip somehow makes its way to CM Punk and he wants to join 2 empty-headed dumb fucks who couldn't manage a target on this podcast to talk to us, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome, Punk. We'll talk to you on Thanksgiving, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving, CM Punk.
Happy Thanksgiving, CM Punk. Honestly, I don't want.
Nope,
I'm just saying. I want to make it clear. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of these people. I don't like seeing people lose their jobs. You know, I don't like seeing people fighting each other at work. I don't like any of this stuff. In a perfect world, CM Punk would still be the AEW World Champion. He'd be healthy, and the company would just be killing it. We'd be looking at MJF versus CM Punk 3. You know, like in a perfect world, it's just this is where we're at.
I'm all for people fighting. I try to pump kick the wife in the head all the time. Always trying to fight her.
You want to be a professional wrestler? Or do you want to be a WWE superstar? WWE superstar sounds a whole lot better to me than being a professional wrestler.
Stephen Jensen, it's time. Logan Paul, undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Tell us why it's happening.
So I was saying this for weeks, and it sounds like it's been pretty much confirmed at this point. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, if Jake Paul's in that corner and he lands that punch on Roman Reigns, and Logan's got that loaded hand or whatever they're saying he's got now, it's like they're doing like the Lex Luger story where it's like he can. It's the Little Giants one-time speech. I put a GIF up about that. That's this Logan Paul match. Like one time I landed that one punch on Roman Reigns and I beat him. Here's the thing. Listen, Logan Paul is the most famous person in the company. He's athletic. He's young. He brings a lot of eyes, a lot of attention. They're paying a lot of money for him. That said, I'm taking Roman to retain. I'm not.
Oh, come on.
I'm not gonna sit here and like trigger people for too long. But I will say this: I think if we were living in another world or a situation where there were multiple world champions still, I could see them putting a world title on Logan. I honestly could, because of everything I just said. And he's been good in the ring. It's not like he's embarrassing any. Like his last match was actually really, really good, where he was like doing like the splash off the top through the announce table and stuff. Like he's got a really nice moonsault. Like he does the splits. He's an entertainer. Like, and he's athletic and he's a good boxer. I mean, for someone who doesn't box very much, he's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I can't. It's got to be Cody. It's got to be Cody beating Roman. That's my whole thing. If this wasn't a whole, if Cody wasn't in the picture here, I might actually think that Logan might actually win this. So, but it's got to be Cody.
It can be Cody beating Roman. Here's how you do this, Stephen Jensen. This is my booking brain right here. We got Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns Saturday, WWE Crown Jewel, live on the Peacock Network, 12 p.m. Eastern time, right? Austin Theory comes out with his stupid briefcase. He cashes in. He's inserted into the match. Logan Paul pins Austin Theory to win the championships. And Logan Paul is the champion, and you keep the title on him until Royal Rumble. You build the big rematch between Logan and Roman for Royal Rumble, and then you can put the titles back on Roman. That's fine. Roman doesn't have to take the loss, but he loses the belts because Austin Theory comes in and he takes the loss. And we get a nice little 2-month reign with Logan Paul as the champion. He can go on Kimmel. He can go on Fallon. He can go on he can hold both of the titles. He's got both the titles on every episode of Impulsive. You boost business for the Rumble. And then Cody can come back and sure, he can beat Roman and he can have that victory over Roman Reigns. Or even better, we don't even need to get the belts back on Roman, right? Roman doesn't need the title. Roman can do Rock. Hey, somebody said it. Who said it? It might have been Kai. I don't even see the comment anymore. We do Roman and Rock. We don't need a title for that. Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, WrestleMania main event. Cody beats Logan and takes the titles. And then Cody and Roman at SummerSlam. Roman going for the belts that he never lost. Right? He never lost the title to Logan. Never lost it. Cody, Roman, SummerSlam, big SummerSlam matchup. I booked the entire championship picture and the entire Roman Reigns picture from now until SummerSlam. You're welcome, Triple H. You're welcome.
Yeah, okay. So, or we could just do all that, I guess. I guess we could do that. I listen. I said on Twitter when we were talking about it a little bit, I was like, Logan and Cody WrestleMania for the title. Like, I thought I've heard worse, Jeremy. I've heard worse. I think that's pretty solid. Listen, I still think Cody needs to be the one to take the titles because like I feel like whoever ends this reign of Roman Reigns, like this has got to be. The EP just sent a tweet.
She's using my shoot name in the text messages. All right, she's going middle name. She's very upset at my great ideas. Let me be great with my ideas. This is tremendous. I'm boosting ratings all over the country right now with Logan Paul as the champion until WrestleMania and Cody and Logan. This is going to boost business all across the board. Stock going way up. Get the WWE stock right now. Invest today and then sell. Don't ever sell because Cody's going to be the champion and the stock's going to keep going up. Don't ever sell, but invest today and then watch that money rise. Sell around SummerSlam because once you do Cody and Roman, then it might tail off a little bit. But get it today, sell at SummerSlam, become a baby. Get the stock, get our agent, whoever, investor on the phone, put it all on the WWE stock.
There you go. Listen to Jeremy's stock trading advice and just load up on WWE stock right now today. You sound kind of like Don West, the legend, trying to pitch infomercials right now. I'll never forget Don West swimming in a pile of baseball cards that he knocked over onto the floor. It was awesome. It's like Ken Griffey rookie cards.
In a pile of my WWE stock money. Come SummerSlam 2023.
But okay, so all jokes aside, realistically speaking, no, I know you're not. I know you're not. I'm just saying for myself. I'm prefacing this for myself. I think Roman retains at Crown Jewel. I think that probably by Royal Rumble, the turn on Sammy happens, and we get Sammy versus Roman at the Rumble. Cody wins the Royal Rumble match itself, and we do still get Cody beating Roman for the title. That said, I don't think it's the worst idea in the world to put the World Championship on Logan Paul for the short term. I don't. I think your idea actually isn't a bad idea. I really don't. Especially with the theory idea, he's the one who gets pinned, protects Roman. I think you've come up with a very clever workaround if they do want to put the belt on Logan, and if they do want to take the belt off Roman, if they don't want, you can still do Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania, like you said, in your scenario. I just think it's more impactful for Cody's win if he's the one to end the championship run of Roman Reigns after so long himself. But
he can hold the win. He can get the pin. He can get the pin on Roman Reigns. That's all.
No, I get that. He gets the visual pin because it would be Theory getting beaten by Logan. I get that. I get that. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's a pretty good idea.
People are saying it should be Sami Zayn. Look, Sami Zayn just dances, right? That's I actually love Sami Zayn. I can't say it's awesome. Mark about Sami Zayn. He probably should win the title and everything, but he's not going to. Sami Zayn is awesome.
Yeah, honestly, with Cody gone, I think that Sami's the most entertaining guy in the company right now.
Easily, he's great. All right, my WWE spotlight. Speaking of entertainment, the sports entertainment, Jensen, Johnny Gargano was on Raw and he did an investigation. Mm-hmm. The investigation was that Miz is paying Dexter Lumis to be his stalker because that's what celebrities like to do. And he did a great job of actually making sense of this storyline because it has been kind of nonsensical lately. I mean, it's kind of been nonsensical from the start. Mm-hmm. But why is this guy just randomly showing up in the house? How do you get in? Why isn't Miz pressing charges? It's been all over the place of he kidnaps, but then he gets away, but then the cops are after him. It's been all over the place. And Gargano made it make sense of it's because he's paying him. That's why he's able to just get away. That's how he's able to get in the house. That's why he's cooperating, but not cooperating. He's taking some lumps, but this is what's happening here. People were upset at this segment. I don't know why. They thought it was corny. I mean, it was, but that's the charm of it. I like that they made it make sense for Gargano to do this, and they made the story make sense because it's been all over the place and it's been in the territory of stupid. And I've seen a lot of people just get upset that all right, well, this has now gone from something sort of interesting to something that I don't have any interest in. But Johnny Gargano did a great job with this. I thought he's very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Okay.
What did you think of this segment?
So I almost texted you last night about this actually. So it was pretty late at night. Went to sleep pretty late. And I was, before I fell asleep, it was kind of like nodding off a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. I gotta watch this Johnny Gargano thing before the spotlight tomorrow. So I gotta watch this before I go to sleep." So I turned it on last night. I can't believe you made me watch that, dude. Okay, so
Why?
like, listen. Okay, yes, very corny, very goofy, very cheesy. I honestly thought at the end of it, it was going to be like an Always Sunny type, like Pepe Silva thing, like from like Charlie, where like they were going to be like, not only was it not a setup the entire time, and like Dexter Lumis is beating the shit out of MJF or out of the Miz right now, like as we speak, like they go find him, and like it turns out like nothing that like Gargano said was true. Like you're just like, oh, never mind. Like I think that could have actually been kind of funny if like he had this whole 5-minute long explanation of exactly what happened and how it happened, just for them to be like, dude, all of that was wrong. Like what are you, like, you're insane. Like none of the way, how did you come up with all of that? But instead, like if this just is the story, that's a weird weak story to me, dude. Like that's the story, was you were paying for a stalker for publicity, then you stopped paying him, and now he's actually attacking you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great story.
Gargano's cheesy, dude. Listen, he's always been fantastic in the ring, but I've always thought he was just goofy, and like this doesn't help when it comes to that. Listen, I think that maybe
it's part of his charm.
Well, within the WWE system, I think that's going to help him on like Raw and SmackDown, like because it will give him more of a character. But like, I don't know. And listen, if people like this, they like it. I thought it was so cheesy. Literally, as I was watching it, I was like, there has to be some sort of swerve or payoff for this. And then I was like, oh no, this is the story. Weird. That was my takeaway.
Well, let it play out first off, because it's very possible that, more comes out of this. I thought it was great. Gargano he's been so good as the way dad Johnny Gargano from back in the NXT and now up into the main roster. Who cares about these great wrestling matches where Johnny Gargano is telling an underdog story? Don't need none of that. What you need to be able to do is 5-minute, 60-minute segments on WWE Raw, because that's how you get over in WWE. SP3, get out of here. You're not welcome here, SP3. Jensen's not correct. This segment was great. They did a fantastic job explaining everything. And I hope this is the story. We need Miz and Lumis being a tag team now. That's because Ciampa's out. I don't know when Ciampa's coming back, but he had surgery and everything. And then Ciampa comes back and he reunites with Gargano to face Miz and Lumis. But he was a stalker. He's a paid stalker, and then he's going to be security for the Miz. That's how this ends. Is Lumis? There we go.
Oh, wow.
Lumis is the security. He's going to be security for the Miz.
Give me just
That's
1 second. Sorry,
out.
Someone's either banging at my door or on my roof. Give me just 1 second.
Oh, go fight him. Oh man, see, somebody's trying to attack Stephen Jensen. He's going to punch him in the face. Everybody, who's up on Jensen's roof? Do we think? Who had a roofing gimmick?
Sorry, I apologize. You might be hearing. They didn't tell me.
CM Punk.
CM Punk. They're here. They didn't tell me they were coming back here this morning, but yeah, I had a leak in my roof that they were looking at yesterday, but they never told me they were coming back today. So if you all hear any noise, I apologize. Someone's up on my roof right above me right now. Anyways,
you're wrong about Johnny Gargano. That's the takeaway from all of this. You're wrong. Let's move on.
Our product is what it is. We're going straight up the middle.
My other spotlight, Jensen, this week is Shinsuke Nakamura against Great Muta in Pro Wrestling Noah. This was announced last week. It's going to be January 1st. This rules. I mean, I said it a few weeks ago on this show that Triple H should start swinging the meat around and send Shinsuke and AJ and Finn and Gallows and Anderson to New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom. He's sending Shinsuke to Pro Wrestling Noah. Wrestle Kingdom's only a couple days later. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm saying if Triple H hasn't at least floated that to New Japan, he's doing it wrong, because he should float this to New Japan. I'm excited for Shinsuke against Great Muta. It'll be great to see Shinsuke back in Japan, wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah. It's going to be a big deal. He's wrestling Muta. Muta's only got a few matches left. This is a cool thing, right?
Oh, this is super cool. Absolutely. The more that we can see WWE kind of dipping their toes into the idea of the Forbidden Door, I love that. And it makes sense. I mean, obviously, with it being Nakamura for the opponent for Muta, and then like you said, it's like I could totally see Nakamura being a part of Wrestle Kingdom. I still think, I don't know for sure, but I still think there's like, I think it's been pretty clear that like the Anderson stuff is like kayfabe to at least some degree. Like, I think like they're gonna wrap that up with New Japan at some point, like the whole Carl Anderson thing.
The fact that they didn't strip him of the title,
right?
It seems like it's because usually like, they'll strip people for the title for missing one defense. Like Juice, I think, got stripped for the title just because like he didn't make one appearance.
I mean,
Ospreay,
yeah,
he got that was their world title because of the neck injury. Like they will strip people for the title for missing one show, and Anderson's obviously missing one show, but they're like, yeah, you can keep the title. That kind of screams Angle to me.
Which kind of, which is my whole point, because like there's some sort of working relationship there. So that's it's exciting. I like knowing that this opens it up more for people. I want to see some WWE wrestlers in Wrestle Kingdom or being able to pop up in other places, especially if they're not being like used a lot. Like I know Nakamura is heavily featured and everything, but like, you know what I mean? Like, especially people that don't have a lot going on, if you can get them some bookings in like New Japan or Noah or whatever, and just like have them build their popularity in their catalog and get over like some other new places and stuff. I mean, we've even seen just being in a different country, just how much that can help somebody. Like, I remember when like Albert went to Japan as Giant Bernard and like became like a big star over there. Like he was like okay as Albert in A-Train. He was like kind of mid, but like then he went over there and like totally reinvigorated his career. Came back. The Tensai thing didn't work out great at long term, but it got him a long-term job at the Performance Center as a head coach. Like, so it's like, I think that it's intriguing and it's exciting and it's really cool for Muta as well, and the people around Muta that like they're able to make this stuff happen, because like they're bringing Sting in for him soon. They're doing Shinsuke. Like this is real respect being shown for the career of Great Muta, which at the same time, or Kenji Muta or Muta, and or whatever you want to call him. It's very, very cool that that the companies are kind of going out of their way to do something special for him on the way out like this.
I wouldn't be shocked if Muta ends up in the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
Same. Yeah.
It seems like that would be an easy decision for WWE. Clearly they have respect for him. Clearly they have some type of relationship with Noah and him. I could easily see him being part of the Hall of Fame ceremony this year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing Shinsuke back in Japan with a Japanese company. He's going to be treated like God over there. He is when he goes with WWE. Now he's going to be big Japanese stage. He's facing Muta. Like that's obviously a huge match. It'd be good. Again, if Triple H is trying to make inroads with these companies now, that's a good thing for wrestling overall, that they're able to do these, and it could lead to more surprises. It could lead to just more big matches that we didn't think we were ever going to see. And now we have a chance to see them. I was stunned when I saw this graphic in the morning. I thought Tom's Customs was like, hey, this man has lost his mind. And Shinsuke, and he's tricked people before.
That troll, dude.
Yeah.
No, I like his chat. Like, I don't know him personally, but like we follow each other on Twitter. He trolls me so often. Like he got me good with the Chris Hero one yesterday. But I always look, like before I say anything to anyone, I always look to see if his little Tom's Customs logo is on the graphic anywhere. Yeah.
He is a big time troll. He's gotten like website. He got New Japan with one of those things. He got the official New Japan.
He's good at it.
Yeah, he is really good. Your other spotlight, Jensen, is actually a secondary indie spotlight because you want to talk about MLW, and I'm like, why? So instead, we're we're going to another indie spotlight. That is Cruel defeating AC Mack in a minute to win the IWTV Independent Wrestling World Title at ICW No Holds Barred. It was an open challenge. Cruel came out, tossed AC Mack to the table, pinned him. That was that.
Pretty much, yeah. He tossed him through like a table in the corner, then did like a choke breaker, then like tossed him through another table, and then did his he called it scorched earth or something. I can't remember that. It is a double his full Nelson like face buster that he does. Yeah, I mean, destroyed him. Listen, I love AC Mack. Y'all know that he's been a guest of the show before. I got to see him live at Bodyslam, which we'll talk about here in a second as well. But here's the thing. So if I try to do this off memory, y'all can actually, if you want to pull up, can you quickly pull up the list of IWTV champions? I did this on the Weekender as well, and I'll try to validate my knowledge here. If you can pull it up, all right. You got him. Okay. So I'm going to try to remember all the reigns here, and this is to prove a point. So this goes back to the Powerbomb.tv championship before it was IWTV. So it was Jonathan Gresham, and then Haas Tracy Williams, and then Orange Cassidy, and then Chris Statlander, and then Orange Cassidy again, and then Eric Stevens for like an afternoon, and then Warhorse, and then Warhorse had the long run with it, lost to Lee Moriarty, and then Lee lost to Alex Shelley, then Alex Shelley lost to Ace. Oh, so Lee lost to Wheeler Yuta, and then Wheeler Yuta lost to Alex Shelley. No, sorry, the Lee Moriarty. No, yeah. Now I'm getting screwed up. It was
Warhorse, Moriarty,
Yuta, Shelley.
Yeah.
AC Mack. Thank you. And the reason I bring all that up is because Cruel is very different than all those wrestlers I just mentioned. Like everyone I just mentioned is mostly outside of Warhorse, who's a little bit more of like a character, and he had the run during the pandemic, which is a little different too. But like pretty much like technically sound wrestlers. That really go on and put out like big time like in-ring performances. Cruel is like he's like a monster. If you're familiar with MLW, he's Mads Kruger in MLW, so you might be familiar with him from that if you haven't seen his indie work. But he I'm interested by it though. Like I'm open-minded to the idea of Cruel as IWTV champion because I think it's going to be something totally different with that title than we've ever seen before. It's going to be a real scenario of like who can eventually beat this monster. And they'll probably put someone over big time who can eventually do it. So yeah, I mean, shout out to AC Mack for a good title run. And especially when he won the title from from Alex Shelley, and he cut that great promo afterwards. And he defended that title all throughout Uncharted territory and all that stuff. I wish they would have done more with his run as far as like defending it against other territories and stuff, but I'm interested to see Cruel as the champion because I think he'll have probably a pretty long run, and they're going to do a really good job, I think, in my opinion, of building towards somebody getting a big rub off eventually beating him.
I would think they'd have to because Cruel kind of came out of nowhere here.
Not for ICW NHB. Like he's been the man there for a minute, and he's also big in action wrestling. He does really well in a lot of the companies that are like prominently featured on IWTV. So.
I guess it was out of nowhere for me because we just we talked about it last week of AC Mack and Alec Price, and they did a DQ finish on that one. And it seemed like they were going to be building to a rematch for the title at some point. Right. And then, a few days later, he just loses the title. So that's why it was a little bit out of nowhere for me. I thought we were going to get a rematch between AC Mack and Alec Price. I look forward. I mean, I'm familiar with Mads Kruger in MLW. I did not realize it was the same person. So I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing how he does because yes, as Mads Kruger, he is and the fact that it's ICW, which is, more of it's called No Holds Barred. Like it is more of a death match type of show with this title. And you mentioned the wrestlers who have held this title, not really death match guys. Those are guys more renowned for whether it be character or technical ability, certainly not like go out there hardcore, do death match kind of stuff. So it's a different look for the IWTV title. And I'm interested in what they do with this because we got the streaming wars right now. And this will blend into our indie spotlight. So I'll go ahead and hit that one with IWTV and now Fight Plus. Of course, I have to find it. There it is.
I want to give a big motherfucking shout out.
So we had Nick Gage against Lio Rush from GCW Hit Em Up this past weekend. And I guess technically this is the last standalone GCW show, because now all the GCW shows are going to be on Fight Plus, which is a subscription service for $5 a month. They're on there. House of Glory is on there. AEW is on there. Pro Wrestling Revolver is now on there. And it looked like Prestige was going to join. And they were like, oh, we got a big announcement on our future. And it's like, yeah, we're actually staying with IWTV. And now we got the streaming wars between Fight Plus and IWTV. Thoughts on first Gage and Lio, and then the streaming wars?
So I could do an entire hour or 2 hour long episode on just my thoughts on the streaming wars. But Gage and Lio was obviously very good. Gage retained, hit that choke break for the 3 count. Leo's doing great work. I mean, he's so interesting because like he's so damn talented in the ring, but you just never know like where he'll be and how long he'll be there. But it also kind of makes him intriguing at the same time. You know, like it's kind of a cool thing that he can do, and his in-ring work just stays phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, like it was a solid match, a solid title defense, and I mean, it made sense that Gage retained. Of course, they're gonna put that belt on him.
Long
for a while,
match. I mean, long match. There was some stalling and stuff, but it was like a 30-minute Nick Gage match, which I've questioned how long he can go. He's looked beat up in some of these matches and stuff, but looked good in this one. So good on Nick Gage.
Yeah, for sure. Good to see him looking good with that title. And for the streaming wars, we've seen this to a degree for years now, especially in recent years with like video game streaming, like Twitch streamers specifically. Guys like Ninja and Shroud, who years back got deals with Mixer, that kind of changed the whole game for how streaming works in contracts and stuff. So without getting too far into it, Mixer wound up shutting down, but Ninja and Shroud both got payouts because of it. But anyways, the point is, like, we're still seeing it right now. Like, there's a lot of big, like, let me put it this way. Let's say that that IWTV is Twitch, and Twitch is like kind of the only game in town, or one of the main games in town, and they kind of have everyone for years. Like, and everyone's trying to build their name. So you have your Ninjas and your Dr. Disrespects and your Shrouds and your Summit 1Gs and your Ludwigs and these guys, which are all Twitch streamers, which I would compare to like your Action Wrestlings and New South Pro Wrestlings and SCIs and SUPs and West Coast Pros and that kind of stuff. Well, now, YouTube is out there and they're like, hey, we got a great platform to do live streaming. We can give you good money. You already have the fan base from IWTV, from Twitch. We'll give you guaranteed money to come over here and stream a certain amount of hours on our platform. You just have to leave Twitch. It's got to be exclusive. And I feel like the same kind of thing is happening now with independent wrestling, where not just specifically IWTV, but we are seeing a lot off that platform right now. And GCW kind of being an example with, with the lawsuit and all, but like we're seeing it happening. Because like I noticed like New South Pro Wrestling isn't on IWTV anymore. AEW isn't on there anymore. Black Label Pro, I think, kind of comes and goes depending on what shows they do and stuff. Like
Black Label is now going to be on Fight.
So there you go. And I think, and that's the thing now, is like you have the option for Fight Plus, which is essentially half the price of IWTV for like the same thing. And it's interesting, man. I feel kind of bad for IWTV because I'm like, damn, like they give a lot of these companies a big platform to get the fan base to be able to even have the opportunity to jump for a better deal. But at the same time, like, if you're the talent or you're the company or the promoter, you got to look out for the best deal. And that happens in all sports and all lines of entertainment, by the way. Like that is the game itself. It's like, it happens in fighting. It happens in everything, where like you appreciate the help when you had it, but like then you kind of outgrow the platform sometimes. And like you gotta move on to something bigger and better that's going to work for you. I'm glad to see, though, that there are companies re-signing with IWTV. It isn't something where everyone's just leaving the platform. Like there are people that are staying, but they are losing some too. And I think that GCW being a part of Fight Plus is going to entice other companies to want to jump ship, because GCW, once again, just being honest, like GCW is the biggest independent promotion in the world right now. It's probably the third biggest wrestling company in the United States. Them being a part of that platform is massive. I think Fight Plus might also have NWA Power first runs before they go onto YouTube.
I mean, I know NWA has their own like subscription service that's part of Fight. I don't know if it's, I think at least for right now, it's a separate thing from Fight Plus, which if you're NWA, I don't know why you just wouldn't roll that all into one thing. I can't imagine paying, hey, let's pay $5 for all this independent promotion, or let's pay $5 for NWA Power. Like,
well, because the problem with Power is it's gonna air for free a few days later on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
so it's NWA All Access. It is two separate things, by the way. There's Fight Plus, which is the independent promotions and stuff. And you get Fight Plus, by the way, it's not just independent wrestling. It's also like they do boxing events, they do the bare knuckle events and everything. Like you get all of that as well. It does say on Fight Plus includes organizations like NWA, but then there is NWA All Access, which is NWA Power, the monthly specials, and past NWA events. So I'm not sure if it's rolled in like completely how that all is working. I would imagine at some point it gets rolled in, but they had a separate deal with NWA first. I just can't see anybody being like, yeah, let me pay $5 to watch Power 3 days early, and then whatever your monthly NWA special is, which I don't even know if they do. I guess that's going to be like their New Orleans show, not Hard Times, but the show after that. Or let me pay $5 for, all this great independent wrestling plus slap fight. Right.
So yeah, you get a lot for your money for $4.99 a month. It's a good deal. It's a very good deal. It's worth it for just GCW. I've been saying that GCW should have something like this for a while, and like this actually exceeds my expectations. For $5, you get all their shows, all their upcoming shows. You're getting a big discount versus what you would normally pay for like the individual shows or like the weekend packages or whatever. And you get the whole back catalog. Like, it's a no-brainer for wrestling fans, in my opinion, to spend the $4.99 a month for Fight Plus. That's me and Doug were talking about it on Tuesday. It's like the cost of like a cheeseburger, like a month to get all that. Like that's a no-brainer.
Fight, hook us up with some codes, so we can pass out some free subscriptions or some discounts or whatever we can pass out here. You can go to IWTV, use that code Fight Talk,
yes sir,
and help us out here.
We'll help all these platforms out. You got a streaming service that you want more people to check out that has pro wrestling on it? Let us know and we'll check it out. If it's good, we'll tell people about it.
That's right. I do wonder if IWTV now comes down on their price, because GCW, it's the biggest promotion, independent promotion out there. And so if it plus all these other companies are available for $5, and then IWTV, look, they got a lot of great wrestling on that platform, but they don't have a promotion that's driving like GCW is.
They do, but it's not the same. Like,
well, yeah,
they have the GCW settlement series that they have to do,
right?
But that ties into it just really quickly. I think this is just regular speculation. This is not me reporting anything. I don't have any inside information, but I do know a lot of people on kind of both sides of this, and the timing to me, like it's worth paying attention to. Like, I'm of the mindset that something must, monetarily speaking, something has to be going on with IWTV based off of the lawsuit with GCW. This is my speculation, is like the lawsuit wrapped up and now all of a sudden like a lot of these companies are leaving and it feels like maybe they can't afford like they used to. This is just me guessing, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's probably a lot of money tied up in that lawsuit with GCW, and then people having to leave the platform might have something to do with the trickle down from that. I don't know.
And it's very possible. It'd be interesting to see if IWTV makes any changes to their model now that Fight is going this way with Fight Plus, and I could certainly see that happening. Good to have more homes for pro wrestling, especially. That was a big complaint with GCW, is you're paying $15 for these shows, or maybe it's a bundle for like $20 or whatever it might be, and now you get all these shows for $5 a month. So
Awesome.
it's great for independent pro wrestling. Yeah. Christopher mentioned Revolver, which is, the Sami Callihan's promotion. Like they do a lot of big shows as well. So it's good. It's good to have more access to independent pro wrestling, and we will continue to cover independent pro wrestling on the show. Hopefully Battle Slam gets a part on the Fight Plus deal. Real quickly, before we get into Battle Slam, I do want to make sure I read the super chat. Allison says, the threatening going on down where WWE is, why would they put it anyway and think about their lives first? That was the report that Saudi Arabia has intelligence on a potential threat from or potential attack by Iran. A spokesperson denied there was any type of imminent attack. WWE is said to be monitoring the situation. Yes, they feel good enough to where they don't think anything is going to happen. And now that the news is out there, I don't know. This is way, way, way above my pay grade. But now that the news is out there, and I imagine military security is all beefed up and everything, it seems less likely to happen because now there is no caught off guard with this stuff. But hopefully the most important thing is everybody in Saudi Arabia and WWE and everywhere, United States, are all safe. Nothing happens. And we get through this weekend and there is no incident in Saudi Arabia with with anybody and the WWE talent.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Allison. It's scary. It's very, that's really the best I could say. It's scary. I'd be like, listen, as somebody who doesn't like to fly on airplanes to begin with, like I would never want to make a trip like that ever to begin with for me. But like, with the additional threats that we're talking about, like, man, that's scary. You got to give credit to the people that make those trips to entertain people. Well, and I know they're getting paid a lot of money to go over there. Obviously, it's a big time business. Then there's literally millions of dollars on the line for them to do this show. And from a business perspective, I understand why they want to make sure it happens no matter what. If I was a talent, I'd be nervous. But that's just me. Yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. It's very scary.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes off and is good this weekend with WWE talent. I know a lot of them arrived the past couple of days, and it seemed like they got there safe, which is good. They got the event on Saturday. Hopefully everybody gets home safe. And hopefully everybody just in Saudi Arabia is safe as
Absolutely.
Well. Nothing comes of this.
Yeah.
All right, Jensen, Battle Slam. What a transition.
Yes, I was at Battle Slam this past week. The results are available if you want the spoilers. They're available on the Fightful website, so you can check that out. Articles coming soon. Some of the quotes that I did with Baron. Jeremy's always awesome about taking some of the interviews that I do and getting a couple quotes out there. So I got an interview with Baron Black afterwards. A spoiler alert. I'm going to, if you're planning to watch Battle Slam, you might want to fast forward this part to like the interview. If you're watching live, you want to maybe just pause this for a minute. If you don't want spoilers, but I'm going to tell you a bit about Battle Slam, what happened. So I've worn it pretty much all week on streams because I'm so happy I finally have one of these, but I'm wearing an Ace Austin t-shirt because Ace Austin did make a surprise appearance at Battle Slam, which was awesome. Like I've never seen him wrestle live before. I even told him after the show, I was like, hey man, I've been saying it for years, but like, I really hope you become the Impact World Champion. Like I really want to see it. And he kind of winked at me and was like, it's going to happen. He was like, it's going to happen. Like he didn't he wasn't like spoiling or, you know what I mean? Like, but he was just kind of like, I think it's going to happen. Like, he feels like he should be the champion also. I could tell. I met Trey Lamar, who we're hoping to have on the show soon. Another guy who I was taking pictures at the show and he walked up to me and he was like, are you Fight Talk? And I was like, yeah, man. And he was like, dude, we've been following each other forever. Like, it's like, good to meet you. And I was like, dude, I know. Like, it's crazy because I don't like introducing myself to wrestlers. I do if I want interviews, but it's awkward because I interact with some of these guys on Twitter and they don't know that it's me. And I don't want it to be weird where I'm this guy or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just kind of weird. So if they come up to me though, it's great because I'm like, okay, they know who I am. I can talk to them about whatever, try to set up some interviews. And Trey Lamar seems like a really, really cool dude. I've been a fan of his for a long time. He had a great match on the show against Lee Johnson, who, spoiler alert, Lee Johnson is back. He's looking good. Baron Black versus Speedball Mike Bailey was the main event of the show. In my opinion, the best match so far in Battle Slam history. Awesome main event. Speedball, this is the first time I've seen Speedball live. obviously I'm a longtime fan of his, but I've never seen him live in person before. He is so much better live. Like, I mean, he's the man. Like, people know he might be the wrestler of the year for 2022, but live it's even better. The way his striking. I went up when he was doing his entrance, and I held both my hands out for him so he can get some work in. So he hit me like probably 6 or 8 times in the hands, and I was like, I could feel each punch. Like, he pulls back. He's not trying to hurt anybody, but like I could feel the punches. It felt like I was holding mitts for him. I was like, man. So his match was awesome. The co-main event was incredible too. Queen Aminata versus Kylan King. You guys are gonna definitely want to check that match out. Adam Priest, Battleslam legend, came out to Gucci Man Lemonade again. His very popular walkout music. Like this was a really damn good show. And I think I can say it's out there when their next show is going to be. If not, it will be out there soon. But Battleslam is going to return on November 27th. And I think they're doing an 11 p.m. show from what I understand, because they're running the same. So Baron told me. So in the afternoon, they're running Championship District Wrestling on the 27th in Atlanta. And I may be a part of that show potentially. Stay tuned, everyone, for that. But
head kicked off.
Maybe. I don't know. I might just do some commentary or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But they're doing Championship District Wrestling in the afternoon, and then they're taking that ring, breaking it down, bringing it to a different part of town, and then running Battleslam that night with the same ring. So that's going to be a busy Sunday. That's November 27th. I'll probably hit both shows, honestly, because like my family's going to be out of town for Thanksgiving. We're doing everything like early this year because my parents are going to be with my grandparents or my grandma out in Phoenix. So I'll be free over Thanksgiving weekend, and the Vikings play on Thanksgiving. So I don't have a Vikings game that Sunday. So the stars kind of align perfect for me to just be at wrestling shows all day that day. So shout out to Battleslam. Look out for the Baron Black interview when it drops on Fightful Select. I didn't tell anyone this, but if you happen to listen to the Weekender, or if you want to check out the Weekender this week, I may give y'all a sneak, a head start on that interview. So if you want to hear from Baron, check out the Weekender. Dropped a little bit early there, so I'm trying to give everyone a little bonus to all the loyal listeners of the Weekender. Like sometimes I'm going to drop some stuff a little early there, because it's going to go on the same platform anyway. It's still going to go on Fightful Select. It's still going to be the same listeners, but you can hear it a little bit early if you listen to the Weekender. So check that out, and watch Battleslam when it drops on Fight TV. They should be making an announcement soon as to when that'll be available.
I hope Battleslam ends up as part of the Fight Plus package, so that way fans can watch that one live, because it always seems like it's a good show, and from the replays that I've seen, it's a good show. And I'm sad that they got to wait to watch Baron Black against Speedball Mike Bailey, because I'm sure that was a great match. But you just said it was the best match in Battleslam history, and I can understand why, because as we've said many times on the show, Speedball is like Wrestler of the Year for us in 2022. If you look at just like match quality and consistency, like that guy is just putting out top tier matches every single week.
Yes. Well, even this past weekend, I want to give one more quick shout out before I bounce out to clock in for the shoot job. But Speedball Mike Bailey versus the debuting in GCW Willie Mack from this past weekend was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Willie was super over. Of course, it was on the West Coast, and he's the man. I love Willie Mack, so I hope they use him as a regular going forward in GCW, unless he gets swept up by like NXT or something, or AEW, which I can definitely see potentially happening as well.
Jensen, let everyone know where they can find you at.
Follow me on Twitter at FightTalk _FIGHT TALK _. Use code Fight Talk and independentwrestling.tv. Go support Fight TV too. We've been talking about their platform a lot. Like go check out Fight Plus and watch some GCW and all the other stuff they have on there. Fightful Select Weekender podcast every Sunday, FightfulSelect.com. I've been doing Mondays occasionally too. It just depends on if there's shows on Sunday that I want to cover. I got to record on Monday. I think y'all understand and make sense. So yeah, check that stuff out, and appreciate y'all for watching today as always. And I hope you enjoy this interview we finally had with Cass here, and maybe don't have, and I don't know. Stay tuned. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the rest of whatever you're about to see. And yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back right here in the same time, same place next week, and all the other stuff I got going on. I just keep updated on my Twitter at FightTalk _. Gonna go clock in for the shoot job. See ya.
Enjoy your Thursday, Stephen Jensen. Thank you as always, guys. We do have Cassidy Haynes on the show. I tried to get him bumped again, but there is a photo that was leaked of Jensen, Cass, and the wife speaking at the wedding. And I don't know what they plotted. They clearly plotted to get Cass on the show. And they went above my head. They went above my head to the wife. And that is why Cass is on the show. I had no control over that. I got to listen. Happy wife, happy life, right? So she said, you got to have Cass. Like this bit, it's done. He's got to be on the show. I said, okay, fine. Deals were made. I don't know. Not happy about it. But Cass is on the show. Cass, you know him from... Everyone fucking knows Cass. Okay. Every single person in the world knows Cass. Sean Ross tweeted this out. Oh, I posted the photo from the wedding, and Sean, some random person who Sean knows, messaged him. It was like, I know that guy. This person that messaged Sean apparently has never left the city that they're from. And this person knows Cass. Every single person knows Cass. Cass has a story with everyone. Cass has a story for everything, as you'll hear on this show. I will never understand Cass. The only thing I can say about Cass is that he's Cass. Bless him. I love him. Enjoy Cassidy Haynes, everybody.
Welcome to the interview portion of the Spotlight here on the Spotlight, the Creator Spotlight, with myself and Jeremy Lambert. We're joined by a very special guest this week.
Nope. Cassidy Haynes is bumped. He's never going to be on this show. I refuse to do it.
Commitment to the bit is important. I almost bumped myself just because I was like, man, fuck this guy. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, what's up, buddy?
There you go. So I'll give this, of course, is Cassidy Haynes, the elusive Cassidy Haynes, who has been booked many, many times for this show and is finally here. It's actually happening.
I lost a bet. That's why it happened. We bet on the Falcons and Panthers game. And
that's dumb of you.
The kicker, it really was. The kicker decided to fuck me over.
Hey,
and he
no,
said, I want Cass on the spotlight.
No, who decided to fuck you over is DJ Moore. That is DJ Moore lost you guys that game like twice. Or 3 times if you want to look at it one way.
I mean, he dropped the one pass, but then he made up for it, taking the helmet off. The kicker had a 33-yard field goal in overtime. Just make the kick. What do we pay you for?
Shouldn't even been there.
I don't pay you. I don't care.
Shouldn't even been there. Shouldn't even been there.
Probably not. It's helping our tanking, at least. I'm all for it. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you been?
Good. You're my stepfather now. From what
I know. I was playing my jam. Hold on, Steven wasn't even in there. I had the song going and everything when I came in.
What?
Can you hear it?
Is that the song? What song is this?
This is Mother Lover by Lonely Island.
Oh, okay.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't make it out at first.
That makes sense.
I thought you were trying to play the song you dance with my
I hate Bob Seger. I hate Bob Seger. That's y'all.
Wow. Oh, my mom's gonna divorce you.
I hate Bob Seger. I don't. That's not my shit. That's why I was like, I don't even know how to dance to Bob Seger. Y'all making fun of me for it too. I can't even. I was like, that's all. You play something good, and I'll be out there like fucking. It'd be bad. Like it's probably for your benefit that they played Bob Seger. That's what I had to dance to.
Let me tell this story. Right back. This is gonna be, by the way, everybody, our most all over the place interview because we actually kind of sort of like Cass. And
well, for those of you who don't know, this is Cassidy Haynes, Bodyslam.net. My roommate from the wedding weekend that we're about to be talking about, I'm sure. So
it was a very good weekend. So it's my wedding, and Bob Seger comes on. Well, like Night Moves or something, or Old Time Rock and Roll. It was Old Time Rock and Roll. Yeah, it was Old Time Rock and Roll. And my mom, who loves to dance, my mom has been on a million shows with me before. She comes over and she just asks you, she's like, will you dance with me? And you're just looking like, I don't know about that. And then
Bob Seger, first of all. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know how to do this. I guess you just do a bunch of finger guns to Bob Seger. Is that what you do? I don't know.
I bullied you into dancing with her because I'm like, you're really going to turn down and dance with my mom? And you're like, oh, well, I guess I have to now.
Yeah, I was like, ah.
As Hannah said, she said you was just like two shoes.
I have no. I have the rhythm of an old shoe with nobody in it.
Oh, well, sure.
There you
Nobody.
go. When I witnessed all that happened right next to me, and I was like, I was just happy that I didn't get asked because I would have been in the same position because you legitimately did say like, oh wait, you're gonna turn on and dance with my mom,
Yeah.
and then it's like, dude, I mean, you can't say no at that
You
point.
have to at
No,
that point.
I was like, all right. It's like, I'm in. All right, let's go.
The mother
Let's
of
do
the
it.
groom. You can't turn down to dance with her.
Luckily, though, it was at least a good halfway point to the bar. So I was like, I was going to bop and skip my way over to the bar and hopefully come back and be fine again.
Oh, Cass, let me ask you a question we ask everybody. How did you get started in the wrestling media landscape?
The year was a crisp 1996, probably or earlier. Like, I've been around forever. Like, people don't even realize it. Like, I did this. Yeah, I want to say it was probably 1996, if not sooner. I had websites because I was trying to think. Like, I know it was before I moved into this house that I live in when I was a kid. Because I'm in the house that my mom used to when I used to live with my mom when I was a kid. She's not here anymore, but she's across the town. It's not like she's dead.
She's with the Z-Man.
She's not here anymore. She's not here anymore. She's not here. But she's over there. She's at the fucking house. It's fucking Z-Man. Oh, dude, I told Biggs about that the other day. I tried to fight Z-Man because he posted this thing about Z-Man. I was like, oh, that son of a bitch. He was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, fuck, I hate Z-Man, brother. Anyway. No, it was like 1996. I started doing websites and shit, and then like writing news just kind of fell along the way. You know what I mean? Like I just started doing it when I was just, how'd you start? Same way. You're like, I don't know. I need to do something with my spare time, I guess. And it just started happening when I was a kid. And I've been doing this shit forever. Like I think before the first actual like blog style website that I can even remember was this like Lords of Pain Offspring site. Does anybody remember this Lethal Injection? Yeah. When I was a kid. 3.3 there too. He wrote for that site as well, and now he's like a morning DJ down there in Greenville. So he and I both started doing that shit when we were like, I want to say we were like 13 or younger. So that's what I'm gonna say, like 1996, 1998. So I was already in it by the time Lethal Injection and all that stuff started. I was writing for Words of Pain at the time too. I don't think I was writing under my name. I think I had a fake name. I don't even know what I used. I had like 20 of them. I think they just made them up for me. Like the website did. I was like, I don't care, dude. Whatever you want me to write as. I don't give a shit, but it's not going to be as me because I'm not going to get picked on as in high school. Like I already was getting, you know what I mean? '98. That shit wasn't that cool.
Wrestling was cool in '98.
It was cool then. Yeah,
Brother, not really.
Oh,
not really.
Dude, that was
wrestling in '98 where I was.
Yeah, but no, dude. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
we were wrestling shirts to school. Wasn't really like what you did. You know what I mean? Like you do now.
I was rocking Austin shirts all the time.
Same.
NWO,
Goldberg.
Yeah, I had those. Goldberg I had those. You got made fun of, and I was like, I'm quickly taking this shit off. Yeah, I live in North Carolina.
So it came and went for my area as well. Like, but it got really big for a minute. Where like it was
for
everywhere.
a minute it was cool. Yeah, but then after that it wasn't cool again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, there was definitely a while. Like, yeah. Wait, hold on. So you're talking 96. So this is like AOL dial-up internet.
Yeah, bro. I remember all that shit.
Dude,
I was on all that shit.
I remember there used to be like the geo sites, like websites and all that stuff. So like anyone.
Bro, Angel Fire.
Angel Fire.
Yeah, right. Yes.
GeoCities, Angel Fire.
That's how old we are. Everyone watching this interview right now is like
39. I'll be fucking 40 in March, guys. I'm fucking old.
Oh, that's wild. We're not too far behind you, dude.
Yeah, so like I was doing all that shit back in the day, man, and I don't know. I mean, I remember being in like one day I was sitting in high school and somebody came in and sat down next to me. Was like, "Hey, brother, have I been reading my wrestling news from you?" And I was like, oh, "Fuck me, probably. I don't know. Have you?" And then like he started telling me where he was going to read it, and I'm like, "Well, time to fucking abandon ship." And I sold all my fucking websites and went into hiding for a few years and funded whatever I could out of that. And then I came back. I don't know. About like 2006, 7, 8, I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, who cares? I was making money when I was in high school doing this. I could use the money now. So I just started doing it again. Like, but it was mostly indie stuff when I came back because like that was what was accessible and I could actually kind of get my hand on and like be part of. So I started going to all these indies like 2008, and just doing like indie sites and shit. I had other websites again that I worked for. I had like a Cheap Heat website back in the like about 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Cheap Heat Wrestling or whatever. Did that one. But that's how I started doing all this shit, man. I started. I went to wrestling school probably for a little bit, like 2008. That was fun.
Anyone notable that was a part of that?
Ricky Morton trained me for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was there every weekend. But it was a shithole here in Waynesville. But Chase and Ricky came every week. Chase Owens and Ricky were there, so that's how I met Ricky and Chase. And I ended up just managing Chase because, like, I was like, dude, I'm too old for this. I was 28, I think, at the time. I'm already too old for this shit. I was like hurting my shoulder every week.
Oh, you could get into the DDP route here. He started when he was like 40.
Well, yeah, I was going to.
35.
I was going to. And I should have gotten surgeries when I was a kid from when I actually played real sports. And like, I just didn't have it anymore, man. My fucking shoulders were blowing out every week. I was like, yeah, this is not for me. It's not going to work. I just knew I wasn't going to be able to do it. I was too broken down at 28, bro. That was a hard life.
It was a hard life at 28. Couldn't do
like,
it anymore.
In Cassidy years, that 28 was probably the equivalent of like 47 for most people.
Yeah. I would say you said you're about to turn 40. I was like
slowing down at 28, brother. I was slowing down at 28. So if you think you know, I was slowing down at 28 probably. So yeah, you're like, you don't even know, man. I can't believe I'm honestly. I should have made it past 30. So we're at 40. We're all on borrowed time, guys. We're having fun now.
Your 40 birthday will be great. That'll probably be the end of you.
Shit, man. Dude, I had asshole friends. So my buddy in Chicago that I stayed with, like my best friend when I grew up there. I grew up with him. Him and his they used to do bets like every year if I'm going to be alive. So like randomly, I get a phone call like 3 a.m. on like a Tuesday in the middle of September. Just pick a random date. It's my buddy. I'm like, that's fucking weird. And I answer, and I'm like, what's up, man? And it's just him going, fuck, I lost. He just hangs up the phone. I'm like, what? So that was like, they would have a bet every year. And like,
how much? How much were they betting on your death?
I don't know. Probably like $100. Like, it was like
how much is their death worth to you? Is what I want to know.
It was a running pool. They had a running pool going. I don't know how much it's worth now. I think they just stopped doing it because they're like, he's never going to die.
Like, see, I can believe that too. Like you've survived. Yeah, like
I should have, dude. I should have been dead so many times.
Yeah.
So like, it's just not going to happen, dude. The whole month of October where I've been hiding, kidney and liver failure for a month. No big deal.
No big deal. You've just been in the hospital, throwing up blood, all this stuff. You're good.
I went twice to the hospital, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't even care, man." They just sent me home. They're like, "We know." They was like, here's some fluids. Just fucking go home." They're done with me too. Yeah. Yeah.
How did Bodyslam start?
I was doing this other sites for a while, and I don't know, man. I was like, fuck, this thing's floundering. It's not really doing well. And I was like, I need something to like just do better. And I just sat there and looked for new names to start for website, just to rebrand, you know. And that was the one I landed on. That was really it. It was just searching for stuff. And I would have gone like .com, but you want to buy that? You want to buy bodyslam.com? Fork over $200,000 apparently. So I was like, yeah, nobody's ever doing that. So I think I'm safe with .net. So I just ran with that instead.
It's a very Post Malone-esque story there, Cass. Yeah. I know he also used like a random name generator, and you know,
I had some other options, but I mean, really, it was just like I needed to rebrand because, like I said, I had like Cheap Heat Wrestling. I was doing that for a long time,
right?
And now there's like podcasts and shit. They have that. Like I think Sam Roberts even stole that fucking podcast name probably because they had that website first. But whatever, what are we gonna do? What you gonna do about it? So I was like, well, that's getting better traction than what I was doing. So I think I need to rebrand. So basically that's what happened is I rebranded from that because his podcast was doing better than my website, which had been going around for like 10 years before that anyway. And that was just some of the options. I had some friends and we just started talking, but like had some people kick me ideas and I started looking around and that was the most like made more sense for branding and marketing purposes as far as like how to, you know, what I thought would work. And it just it was open. It was one of the open website domains. And so I just bought it. And I spent about I'd say 3 or 4 months, like running it without like even letting people know it was there, just to get like a back history and a back catalog of stuff before I did like a soft launch. And then I did like a hard launch, I think January 2018. Because like I think my soft launch was whatever that first StarCast was in Winston-Salem or Greensboro that night. So I was at that, and I think that was the first night I went live and like was running. I started doing like live results that night, so I was like getting actual traffic from that night on. But I didn't really launch, I think, until January that first year of 2018.
Do you want to talk about like any like kind of the bigger stories that broke like around the time that the website was founded, or
there's so many I couldn't even really fucking. I'm not that good at remembering shit. I have to go pull my stuff back up, honestly. But like I just did a bunch of shit back then. Like what really got me was a lot of the I guess the Saudi Arabia stuff. 2000, whenever in Halloween, that when they got like not held hostage.
Right.
Yeah. That stuff. So that was really some of the first stuff, because like I knew people that were on the plane when they were texting me about it. They were like, "Hey man, just in case I don't make it, here's what's going on." I was like, "Oh, well, all right, thank you." And he's like, "Wait till I get home, then you can print all this shit." I'm like, "All right, cool." So that was really like how it started. But I did a bunch. I mean, I've been around like a bunch of stuff. I think I did like some of the Sting contract info with some of my first AEW stuff for a little bit there that got information that nobody really saw. I was like, I think I had how long he had signed, when he actually signed, what he had, and there's a bunch of shit, man. Like, but everybody knows me from getting O'Brien on, basically, or Danielson on. So that's really the one that we'll go
Danielson
with that got
stuff.
me anywhere.
Yeah, the Danielson stuff is when I remember you blew up, and then you had people.
I think I texted you that day.
You
if it was like,
yeah,
because
I mean we. The scoop so I can pre-write the story and everything.
Yeah,
so I was asking you.
I don't mind doing it. I'm like, hey, I got something coming for you.
I was asking you for stuff, and you were telling me, like, okay.
That was a sweaty day, man. Because like I hit Sean up because I was checking on that, and he was like, "Hey, I got this CM Punk stuff that's about to go. Have you heard anything about that?" I was like, "Well, fuck, that's on this list too." I was like, "Have you heard anything about this though?" And he was like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "All right, hold on. I'll get to you in a second." And I was like, I know where I'm focusing my energy now, because he had the other shit. So I was like, all right. But yeah, it was a busy day. But from there, that's where most people know me from. But dude, I've been around doing this shit forever. And like that was the thing too, is I did most of the indie stuff. So, all of these guys that are now famous, I've known since they were fucking starting out, which is my favorite thing to do, is watch these guys that are fucking green and then watch them get somewhere. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. I'm kind of in that boat right now, is like starting to happen a little bit more, because my like getting deep on the indie scene is more like 2015 on kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's starting to, I'm starting to kind of understand probably what, so it's,
because I mean, you were in the same area, man, because I'm like 2.5 hours from you. Like I go to Atlanta stuff all the time. So
that's where we met in person for the first time, GCW in Atlanta at Center Stage.
It was fun. That was a fun night. That was a fun weekend, man. The Charlotte one before that was a lot of fun. But yeah, you got to see me in my natural element, which is really not like, it's really not even working. It's just hanging out and doing stuff with the guys and the boys, just chilling. Like I carned my way into this hat. Like I was like, let me get one of them hats too. Like I'll get you later. Like
I think Jensen had messaged me that night. It's like, oh, hanging out with Cass. I was like, oh, I know what's going on here. I know, because I know how Cass hangs out at these shows. I've been with Cass.
I go to have fun.
You do. You enjoy yourself. Like, bless it. Honestly,
man, that's something that's funny when these people like. I got this other guy the other day be talking shit on Twitter. He's like, "Yeah, you seem like a lot of fun. You need to lighten the fuck up, you asshole." And I was like, "This guy." I was like, "This fucking guy." I was like, "Wow." So I chimed in. This one guy, he comments on you guys' stuff all the time. I think his name is Joel or something. He was like, "Man, imagine thinking Cassidy's not fun." I was like, "Fucking right." I was like, "This guy talking about somebody that's talking shit about not knowing anything. Like, I've never been accused of not being fun, buddy. Like, come on." So that's always great when people start using that against me on Twitter. I'm like, well, obviously you have never seen anything about me to be like, you're no fun, you fucking square. All right, thanks, guy.
Cass legitimately the nicest and like most fun person to hang out with. I think I don't know if I've told the story on this show before, but I know I've told it before. First time we met was at Full Gear 2019.
Oh, so that's the story. That's the one that really kind of got me. Was that
the Jimmy Jacob or not Jimmy Rave?
Jimmy Havoc fight.
Havoc, sorry.
The Jimmy Havoc fight.
Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah, so that was the one where anybody was, because people were like, this can't be true. There's no way this fight really happened. I'm like, guys, I was fucking there, but all right, man. If you guys say so, you know what I mean? Like, okay. And we were at Full Gear, and I think I'd reported right before I left the hotel.
Yeah.
So like by the time I got there, you're sitting there and you're like, hey, Sean told me to tell you, hey. I was like, oh shit, what's up, man? And we kind of like socialized and fraternized there. And my first thing is like, hey, where are you from? And you were like, Raleigh. And I was like, oh shit, man, I'm from Asheville. So we're both from North Carolina. In my mind, I'm like, I know what I'm going to ask you later after the show. You know, I'm like, we're gonna see this guy. This guy's going to want to hang out. He's from North Carolina. If not, what the fuck are we even doing here? So
I had a bigger beard than I had now. I mean, I looked like
the writing was on the wall, pal. You know,
yeah.
I mean? Like, you weren't fooling anybody. I was like, hey, you want to catch a buzz on the way home?
So we hung out after the show, and then we've been friends
with some of the guys. Yeah, with some of the guys, with some people from the show, some of the talent. I was like, hey, I'm meeting some people after the scrum at the hotel. Do you want to go with me? And you were like, yeah, let's go. But yeah, that night, that was the Jimmy Havoc fight that people were like, there's no way that could be true. And I remember walking to the scrum, and everybody was talking about it when I got in there, and they're like, who's going to be the one to ask about the Jimmy? I think Nick was like, well, everybody should fucking ask Cassidy since he fucking reported. I was like, yeah, that'd be only, I think, fitting and fair, right? So I was trying to ask it, and nobody would fucking let me speak, and then somebody stole it from me. I was like, you fucking assholes. But whatever. But yeah, he acknowledged that one. What was Tony? What did he say? Oh, yeah, I've seen worse fights in football. And I'm like, I bet you have, but that was pretty fucking wild still because he stabbed him in the neck with a fork. But whatever. Choked him out, then got stabbed with the neck with a fork. Like, damn. He was mad about it.
Rough night for Jimmy Havoc. Phone got busted.
Dude, he broke his phone. I watched that. I got hit by it. That's when I was like, what the fuck was that, man? Because we walked around the corner to just like go and catch a buzz, like me and some people from inside, some of the other wrestlers and stuff, and like we came back around. They were like, "That's fucking wild. Let's go and chill the fuck outside for a little bit, let that cool down." And we rounded back the corner, man. It was like the meltdown of Jimmy Havoc outside in the parking lot. So that was a fun weekend, man. Baltimore was fun. We had a good time.
That was really fun. And then that was like the last, I guess, Revolution happened, but they
didn't have because I went to Chicago.
Did they have a StarCast for Revolution?
No, but I was up there for that. I was up there for that one too. That was the night I went out with Tony and everybody at the after parties and shit till like 6 a.m. That was wild.
Tony was
Tony Khan, the owner. He was there was a conga line of people. It was fucking wild. I don't remember who all. Literally from one bar to the next, everybody was like, "We're gonna lose everybody. Just put your hands on each other's shoulders." And there was like 20 of us walk into the fucking bar, and as soon as you walk in, they're like, "You're with Tony's group, right?" And they just like led us to the tables. And we drank liquor shots all night. It was fun.
Tony was telling you his plans for world domination.
Brother, I heard a year's worth of booking and didn't say a word because he asked me not to. And now he hates me. I don't know, man. I was like, brother, I didn't spoil anything for a year. Come on, man. Give me a pass on something. You'd think, right?
You had and I don't think I don't know who came from, but you had when Cody came back and him winning the TNT title again. I remember when you told me that, and then you reported it a couple weeks later, and then it happened because I kept saying it on air. I was like, Cody's gonna win the title for the end of the year. Like that's my prediction. And
I knew that. Dude, they'd made a new belt for him. I knew about all that. Like I was sitting on it. I was like, can I do this yet? And the guy was like, yeah, go ahead. You can finally fucking do it. But
was that true, by the way? Because I had heard about the new belt, but I didn't know if that was. Yeah. Okay. Because they didn't wind up actually doing it, right?
They never use it. They never use it.
But I heard that when it was made also. Yeah.
It was a new belt and everything. It was all types of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss Cody in AEW. I think that was fun times. That was kind of fun. Hey, I found this the other day at the Walmart. You got this yet? You guys are Cody guys.
Oh, I'm definitely a Cody guy. I don't have that yet, but I am looking for it. Is that the Walmart exclusive one or the?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's the Walmart exclusive one with the sweet Codelander get up.
Well, because there's
And
like
then,
there's like a
the
regular
pieces of
version
them.
one where it's just like a repaint. They both look pretty similar, but I want the Walmart exclusive one that you have.
Yeah, this is the only at Walmart one. I didn't want to spend the money that day. I was like, fuck. When I walked in there and I saw it, I was like, yeah, now I got to spend money.
I know that feeling very well. We both went through that together. After
Sure,
the day after
God.
Jeremy's wedding, Jeremy told us
Jeremy
about
sent us to
that
the
place.
store.
Yeah, he sent us to like the coolest spot ever to buy
God,
retro
dude.
stuff. Yeah.
I was just like, I was sweating in there. It was terrible. I was like, you're buying shit. And I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Dude, if
if
I wasn't having to fly home with like the luggage, like if I had space, I probably would have left with like a mint in box 32X that night. You know what I mean? Like
I had to get out of there. I didn't have the money to spend. I would have just built. I had it, but I didn't have it. If that makes sense. So I was like, I got to get out of here before I just like come home with like $300, $400 worth of bullshit I don't fucking need. Which, like, guys, I don't know if you know about bullshit I don't need, but see, I got AEW figures stacked to the ceiling.
Yeah,
I got shit stacked.
Love it.
It's bullshit I don't fucking need. I just knocked over so. Also,
Jensen got to watch me. Just claps in the chat, by the way, while this is happening.
Jensen got to watch me open baseball cards and football cards I didn't fucking need all weekend too. And like, dude, they're just sitting right here. I don't even know where to put those. I just got like stacks of fucking football cards. Here's a Terrence Marshall Jr. You like that one? That's a good one.
I mean, it'd be cool if he played a little bit more. He's finally starting.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I got his rookies, brother. I got all these rookie cards worth him. So let's go. Fuck. I bought football cards today. It was stupid. Basketball today. It was stupid. But I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Because you're addicted and it's fun, man.
Oh, what did I get? I got some good shit today. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Hold on. All right. So today I got, I'm pretty sure this one's worth something. It's this Ant-Man rookie. It's a nice purple marquee panini. I got, brother, this is just what I sleeved today. Fuck, it was stupid. It was dumb. Fuck. But anyway, hey, anybody wants to buy cards? Let's talk. I got fucking cards out the ass. My buddy bought a fucking my buddy who came through the other day and was just at my house. He's like, "What's this?" It was just sitting on the table that I had opened, and it was some fucking like Panini Zebra Drew McIntyre. He dropped he's like, "I'll buy this for $70 right now." I was like, "All right, whatever." He just took it and ran out the door. Apparently, I think he robbed me blind. I don't know what happened on that one, but stuff like that laying around, dude. I just waste money on shit. I wish you could see the fuck. I'm just gonna reach over and just grab a stack of wrestling cards just to see what we're gonna grab here. Let's see. Looks like a Sasha Banks relic fucking card of some
people
sort.
Are gonna go crazy if they know you got that. You're gonna have people really
Sasha Banks Fastlane relic. Right here we got Bret Hart British Bulldog cell from
that's pretty cool.
Their SummerSlam match. It looks, and then I got this Hogan Warrior fucking cell as well. That was stack.
Do you have I've actually been I used to collect cards when I was younger, but I've been looking into graded cards lately, potentially as investments, if you will.
Yeah.
I consider a lot of my collection investments to make myself feel better about the amount of money I spend.
All the autographs are out of range,
right?
Yeah.
But do you know anything about I've been looking at the Cody Rhodes AEW rookie cards, and they don't seem super expensive. They seem pretty reasonable, but they're graded mint 9s, 9.5s. I think I found a 10 as well. I think I found an MJF 10. And I was like, you know what? I might actually get a few of these. I kind of have the itch to get back into the cards a little bit.
Yeah, my buddy though, he buys wrestling cards like crazy. He found there's a market for them. So if you're gonna get it, definitely get the graded. Anything graded is so much more valuable than not, obviously. But dude, my buddy found a Undertaker gold. He sold it for $5,000. He's got so much shit, dude. It's one of one Braun Breakers stuff in these series and crazy shit that he's got. So I get addicted just watching him do it. So then let me just grab another stack. Let me see what kind of Dude, it's stupid. I got so many stupid shit over here. Where are they at? Here we go. This is the ones I was looking for. So apparently, I was because what's the weird shit? Undertaker won't sign his 1991 card, right?
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he won't sign it. So I was like, oh, that's weird. So I just remember I was like, let me just go to my box of cards when I was a kid. There you go. Here's that Undertaker 1999 I found. Probably perfectly minted too. But dude, I even had them when I was a kid. Like I just had boxes and boxes. My WCW cards are stupid. I don't even know where those are. But I have every one of them. You could possibly find.
Very jealous about that. I
don't even know what's in this box. I don't have a clue. We're gonna see. DC cards from 1991. DC comic cards from 1991.
Well, that was part of it. I could tell you had the itch badly when we were walking around that spot that Jeremy told us about, and like we had seen all the figures and stuff already, and then you were like, "Oh, they have comic books too. Fuck me." Like, great,
dude.
Like,
hold on, comic books. I got Wolverine #1 somewhere like graded.
You should set up a table at WrestleCade, Cass, and just like sell a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah,
marks. You got masks. You want masks? You guys like masks?
I do want like a parka mask.
Here's a Penta. Here's a Penta mask. It's pretty fucking. It's authentic actually. So it's like got the actual sequence. Like, dude, it's just stupid. I fucking hate it. I don't even know what. Here's another one. I don't even know what this mask is. It's a guy. It's the white one.
Cash, just start sending me like monthly like gift boxes. I got kids now. I'll put this stuff to use.
I would subscribe to a Cass crate.
A Cass crate,
bro. Oh, what's this box? Let's see. Oh, these are baseball cards when I was a child. Apparently, one of 19. Here's a 1980 whatever Mike Schmidt.
Oh wow!
No, excuse me. It's a 1974 Mike Schmidt.
There you go.
Kevin Mitchell, I
gotta get you in touch with my buddy Dustin because he collects a bunch of stuff. You might have seen him on Twitter, but he collects a bunch of stuff and has like a whole room. I'm sure he will.
What do we do? Does something break? Lose Jeremy? But there we go.
No, we're back.
We got everything.
Okay.
We're good. Tom Glavine rookie cards, bro. I don't even know.
Braves legend.
Dude, Braves fan. I'm a Braves fan, guys. I quit watching baseball, of course, when we got eliminated because that's what Braves fans do.
Yeah.
What game are we on in the World Series now? It's like game 3 or 4, right?
It's game 3 as we're recording. It is game 3. I can tell you that this will date when this is taking place. The Phillies up 3-0 in the bottom of the second. There you go.
Nice. Fuck the Phillies. I hate the Phillies so fucking much, man.
Why? I mean, I assume you became a Braves fan just because you live in Atlanta.
Yeah, I grew up. I was born in Marietta, so like when I was a baby, like my family. That's where my family's from. So I went to my first Braves game when I was a baby. Like I think my parents took me to baby when I was literally baby. My parents were taking me to games. So
very important. Very important.
I grew up in the same city, Marietta, which is just crazy small world.
Mm-hmm.
Very important Braves question. Best Braves pitcher of the three-headed monster.
Smoltz.
Ooh, that's between what Smoltz, Maddox, and Glavine.
I'm a Maddox
going Smoltz. See, I'm a Maddox guy too.
Fuck all that.
Smoltz is the workhorse, brother. I've got his rookie card. I just pulled a Steve Avery rookie card out if you want to. There, pull it back out.
Steve Avery, fucking Mark Wohlers, son. Yeah. But no,
Mike Stanton. Fucking.
Oh, I remember. I was very into baseball when I was.
Charlie Leibrandt was the fifth man in that rotation, in case you were wondering.
Dude, that was a squad, dude. I remember like Rafael Belliard and those dudes, Mark Lemke, some OGs right there.
Before Belliard, who was there before Belliard? Because I think they traded for him in '91.
Was Blauser? Was that
Blauser? Jeff Blauser.
Jeff
fucking Blauser came from the Cubs.
Yeah, man. So much. I'm just obscure. I have just the most obscure Braves and Twins knowledge of like the early to mid '90s, and then it's like, and then I just like got out. I got way too into like combat sports and stuff, and just in football, and I just like stopped like watching baseball. I like going to games live, like most people do, but I just stopped like following it after probably like the late '90s. Probably around the time when Griffey like kind of stopped, like when he started like slowing down, and Kirby Puckett wasn't playing anymore, and I was like, all right, I think I'm out.
I quit watching when I tore my shoulder in high school and I lost all my scholarships to college.
That's got to be.
College as a pitcher.
I was gone into colleges. I could have gone to college as a wrestler or a pitcher or a third base catcher. I played all over the place. I was good at sports.
Oh,
I played
God.
catcher. I was a catcher, and for my entire youth, they used to always try to make me play. I played behind fucking what's his name, Carl Anderson. Chad fucking Allegro was our fucking catcher in our traveling team. I was behind him on the fucking traveling team here in our area. Motherfucker I never had to play because of him. He played third base too, so I was always fucking behind that guy.
You should. I mean, I don't know if you have the money to fight him. It takes a lot of money for Carl Anderson to show up anywhere. Did you fight him? Could you beat up Carl Anderson?
Nah, probably not. I'm a pussy now.
Would you?
Like
take
Gallows.
a chop from
Gallows.
Carl? You take a chop.
I tried. I tried. I asked him.
Did
He
you?
wouldn't do it one time. Yeah, he was being a dick about it too. Gallows likes me. Gallows and I are buddies. Anderson never would. Anderson always was kind of weird. Never would chat. Never would hang out. But Gallows is cool. Gallows, I like Gallows. I miss him being around.
Who's the worst chop that you've taken?
Fucking Cash off the screen, off the air too, was the worst one I ever did because Nyla had just lit me the fuck up, and I literally just got done filming Nyla, put my shit back on. I was like, thanks God, that sucked because she hit my back and my chest. And right then the elevator, Cash comes out and he's like, did I fucking miss it? Yeah, I just filmed it, man. He's like, oh shit. And he's like, let me see. And I was like, show him. It's starting to raise up, I bet. So I'm like, yeah. As soon as I get like right here, he's just like, fucking hits me so hard. So fucking hard that there was some woman that was like working like in this little like side area room next. She came running. She dropped shit running, thought something bad happened. She was like, thought somebody was in a fight, like something terrible had happened. She came, what the? And it's just me with like a hand, just like, dude, it was, and he just laughs. And I'm like, dude, that wasn't even on. I looked at my buddy. I was like, did you film that at least? And he was like, no. And I was like, dude. And he was like, yeah, haha, and just ran away. But that one was probably the worst just because I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like I had no idea it was coming. And my shirt was over my head, dude, like hockey style. I didn't even see. It was just got down. But AJ Graves was bad too. Like, that one hurt. And I had just done 7 in a row by the time I did it. Yeah, that one hurt too. But my mom apparently doesn't want me to do chops anymore because she thinks that's why my back broke. And I'm like, no, it's the car wreck that I got thrown out of the car when it flipped 4 times and thrown through the vehicle. That broke my back, not chops.
Yeah, that sounds a lot worse than chops.
Yeah, that apparently did it. They were like, when I was in the doc, like, is anything could have happened that maybe your back could have gotten hurt from? I was like, what is that fucking wreck that you literally treated me for? And he was like,
when did this wreck happen? This was
January
2020.
January 31st, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before I went to Revolution. I went to Revolution 2 weeks later with a concussion like a motherfucker, bro.
I remember that because I was messaging you if you needed anything or whatever, and you're like, "Oh yeah, like I'm out. I'm going to Revolution in a couple of weeks." I'm just like, "You are."
I went to Atlanta between the cage match thing on the way to that. I think on the way the Road to Revolution or whatever that was, the Cody cage match. Wasn't that like in February?
Oh, I was at that too. Yeah, that was a great show.
And then like 2 or 3 weeks later was the show in Chicago, the Revolution. Then the world shut down. But yeah, that's when I had fucking gotten in that wreck. Dude, I had a concussion. That was I thought the only thing that we thought was the problem. They're like, "Oh, you just got a concussion." I'm like, "You think?" like, yeah. All right, but yeah, I remember having to do concussion tests for like, dude, 18 months before I fucking finally cleared a concussion protocol little test. They were like, "Don't get hit again." I'm like, "That's a good rule of thumb anywhere." But thanks, doc. But yeah, then then I guess that flight in January to GCW, I flew up there for Hammerstein, and the cabin pressure, fucking, because my vertebrae and shit were already just wrecked apparently, and I didn't know it. I've been walking around, but apparently the pressurizing and depressurizing of the cabin caused that fucking broken vertebrae just to slide even worse, or maybe that's where when it slid as far, they don't know. But yeah, it was like 9 times what it should have been out of place from like the gap distance. And I couldn't, it touched that nerve or whatever, that lower, some nerve on my, I still got nerve damage. My foot's still fucked up, but yeah, like that cabin pressure. So by the end of the weekend, I could move that on my spine, hit that nerve, and I couldn't walk. So by the time I got back home from Hammerstein, bro, I was like, get me out of this fucking, I was like hobbling, like old man. I could barely get to the car, sat down, drove my ass home, and I couldn't move for like 2 weeks. I was like, something's fucked up, man. Like, I don't understand like what happened. Went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, your shit's fucking shattered. Like, it was bad.
It's
Now you
crazy.
just drive everywhere.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, now you just
I don't-
drive everywhere. Like, if you haven't flown since then, have you?
No. I drove most of the time before that anyway. I only flew when it was like, I don't know, just a little bit too far and not like somewhere I wanted to have my car. Like, I didn't really want my car in New York.
I don't
Places like that.
understand how your body is held up.
Bro, wrestlers drive everywhere all the time anyway. It's no different. I put my miles. You got to get your miles somewhere, baby. You can't take my miles. You can't take my
I
miles.
feel like wrestlers don't have half the injuries that you have.
Why do you think I couldn't do this at 28? Dude, I would have fallen the fuck apart.
They got the buses now. We gotta. Where's Cody to pay for you for a bus?
Dude, I don't know. I don't think I would like to ride. I like driving. I don't like the riding in the car part. I like to drive it.
Fair.
I don't know.
I'm very similar. Very similar.
Yeah, you can't put me in the back. I'll be puking like a child, car sickness style. So my man knows what I'm talking about. My man knows what I'm talking about.
Dude, I didn't even tell you about my flight home. Like, I don't want to even need to get into all that on this. I've talked about it a little bit on like other podcasts and stuff. But dude, it resulted in me having a legitimate panic attack on the plane, and I wound up having to be wheelchaired like out of there. Like, and then I had to walk. So you know Hartsfield International Airport.
Yeah.
So they put me in a wheelchair. They took all my vitals and everything because like I was messed up. They like took my blood and my blood pressure and a whole bunch of written tests. And they had like the ambulance there ready for me and everything. I had like a full on like, it was like the culmination of like 34 years of like hating flying and motion sickness and claustrophobia and nervousness and nauseousness and just everything just all at one time. Anyway, it was a legitimate panic attack where I couldn't feel my arms and legs. It was scary.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I have to take anxiety medicine like during the day, like supposed to take 3 times a day to like I have high functioning anxiety, so I'm like constantly in a panic. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, but the funny thing,
yeah. So were they waiting on you when you landed?
Well, so
did this happen in the air?
Oh, sorry. I think there was a little bit of a delay. It was bad the whole time, but like when we landed, I was like trying to get off the plane, and I like couldn't feel my arms and legs, and I honestly thought I was like having a heart attack or something. And like the whole plane, before I knew it, the whole plane had cleared out, and I was just sitting there. I was the only one on the plane. So someone came up to me and was like asking if I was okay, and I was like, honestly, like I don't think so. Like I don't. Like I've never felt like this before. So they like kind of helped me off the plane and put me in this wheelchair. And like I said, they like took all my vitals and literally like took my blood. I was sitting there like with the passengers who were getting ready to board the plane that I just got off of, probably just freaking everybody out. They're all like, what's happened to this guy on the plane we're about to get onto? But this is the funny part about this is, so I'm sitting in this wheelchair afterwards for like 15 minutes and just like, I think they completely forgot about me. So I just stood up with like my luggage. Like I put my like heavy ass backpack on and grabbed my suitcase. And because I was so messed up, I didn't want to get on the trains throughout the airport. So I walked the entire distance of Hartsfield International. And my dad was like waiting for me at baggage claim, and he knows it was bad. So anyway, I did like a 45-minute long walk, like just all the way across the airport.
That's like 5 miles, dude.
Dude, it was so long. And at the end of it, but by about halfway into it, I started feeling better. But I have made the complete decision that I will never fly again. Like I will never do it. So I'm with you, man. I actually can sympathize for kind of what you deal with that, man. It sucks. But it was worth it for Jeremy. I was glad I was at the wedding.
It was a good drive. It was a nice, easy ride. I mean, shit, man, that ride was longer than I thought it was going to be. It was what, 9 hours?
Dude, and you don't sleep either. Like you because you also drove SP3 to the airport one of these nights at like 4 a.m. or something. I mean, you're an animal, dude, but very appreciated though. I mean, it was like a great guy, but that was nuts.
Man, that was all. He didn't need an Uber that long. Would have been a bitch that early. Fuck that. I've been a bitch for Uber, so I was like, no, I'll drive you, man. Fuck it. Because like we went to bed at what? You went to bed at what, like 1:30, 2 o'clock?
Yeah, I can't remember.
So I was like, man, it's like 2 more hours. Fuck it. I'll just watch Russell War 89 and wait for him. That's what I did.
Because he just crashed on the couch at the Airbnb.
I think I rolled like 3 blunts, smoked some weed while he was asleep. It was a good time. It was a good time. Well, my little, I mean, like, what am I gonna do? Well, I mean, like, look, man, I've slept sleeping. I don't. You're right. I don't sleep much. I get my sleep, but right now my sleep schedule is really fucked up, and it's because I'm sick a lot too. So my sleep schedule is really fucking weird. I get like 4 to 5 hours, like I guess a night, but it's like at a weird spot of the day. So it'd be like 5 a.m. to like 10, or like like 3 o'clock to 8. So. Or I'll be awake for like 3 days. It's like, all right, it's 11 a.m. now. And then I'll just sleep until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, well, that fucked today up. And then now I know it's going to be bad for like another week. But it allows me to chat with people that I normally wouldn't a lot of times too, because I'm like, what's Shazza doing at 5 a.m.? So me and Shazza talk all the time at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm awake and she's doing the middle of her day in Australia time. So, whatever.
It works out.
Can you share any Chase Owens road stories?
Probably not of him. That'd be that would be fun for him. No, I mean just a lot of the time I just listened. I just listened to him and Ricky talk, or him and Sigmund tell me stories, because I wrote a lot with Sigmund too. He was fun. I mean, that guy, he's been around everywhere, but these guys wrestled early 2000s. Like, I think Sigmund was wrestling like 2004 or 5. So I got to listen to like lots of good stories from him. But I don't know, man. It's cool. Like, I mean, because of those guys, though, I got invited to Bobby Eaton's funeral because of those guys, because I'm meeting those guys and doing shit with those guys. And that was really cool. That's probably my favorite thing I ever did, was to be like the main sponsor and help raise money for that show, for that Bobby Eaton show that we did on Fight before he passed away. I guess it was December 2019. And that was a shitload of fun, man. Like, WWE sent Regal to us for that, and he was there and did a whole thing while he was under contract. And that was cool as shit. But I mean, not really. I can't really tell stories from, like, I'd rather those guys tell the stories, you know what I mean? Especially if it's on air, because I don't know what they would want to tell, you know what I mean? But I mean, just a lot of nights of just driving all night and then eating a lot of Waffle Houses in the middle of the morning, or Denny's, and coming back. There's not a lot that happens in Cheraw, South Carolina, that way down. You know what I mean? Like the flats of North Carolina, South Carolina, dude, it's boring. So there wasn't a lot of just in the car, just listening to Ricky. Usually that was the most fun, because listening to him tell stories. Like, come on, baby, rock and roll. You know what I mean?
That's a good Morton. That's a really good.
I told him, baby. Yeah, God damn. Yeah, I love Ricky. I love Ricky, man. I can't wait.
He buried me at the last WrestleCade. I gotta fight him this year.
Nice.
Really? I missed
can't
that.
wait.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, baby. Come on now. What'd he do?
No, he comes up and he introduces himself to Sean and everything. He's like, "Oh, Sean, like, wow, you don't return my DMs." And he's like, "Yeah, you don't follow me." And then Sean's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then Sean's like, "Oh, this is Jeremy. This is our lead writer." He's like, "What's your name?" I was like, Jeremy's like, "Oh, who gives a fuck?" I was like, "All right, Ricky Morton's just burying me."
Oh, nice.
Oh, man. You should have been with us the night before, because I guess I walked into, or no, maybe it was that night. I went into the bar or whatever, and Carrie was there. And I know Carrie wasn't even 21 yet. Carrie's at the bar. He's like, "It's Cassidy, woo!" And he's all excited. Waves me over. I'm like, "What are you fucking doing here?" He's like, "Hanging out with my dad, man." He's just having a blast. So I was
I'm not going to any hotel bar, wherever bar you're at. I'm not going there with you.
That was that one night. That was just that one night that I got kicked out. I just got kicked. That was that night. It was the same bar. It was the same bar another night.
I definitely wasn't going to try to risk that again if you went back to this.
Bro, they didn't care. I went the next year. They don't give a shit. They're just happy to see us. And that was the same bar. And I was in the lobby of the hotel, between the bar and the lobby is where I got moonshine drunk with fucking everybody that night. So yeah, you should definitely come.
I'll be there this year. I'm sure we'll hang out and
I can't wait. I was going to ask you if you were going to be there because, man, that's my favorite. I love hanging out with you guys.
It's such a good time.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it's such a good time. There's so many people there. Are you going to be there for the? You have to stay for the day after event, bro. Are you going to be there?
So I don't know if I'm going to stay. I'm coming on Friday, and then I'll be there Saturday. Obviously, I don't know about Sunday because now that I'm married and have the family and everything, I've had to rearrange my travel schedule a little bit. So I will see about Sunday. But I'll definitely be there Friday and Saturday.
There's more convention on Sunday a little bit, you know, and then we have 2 shows on Sunday. That's the one, man.
Yeah. I gotta see my parents.
White Mike for the world title Sunday afternoon.
I do want to hang out with White Mike.
Oh, he'll be there.
That guy. I mean, I know
it's our weekend.
Yeah. I know he's gonna be there. Man.
That's a big weekend for us, bro. It's a big weekend for this house. We have a lot of fun on WrestleCade weekend.
I assume White Mike just won't know me again. You'll introduce us.
We'll have to do it all again, 3rd year in a row.
Yeah. Sure, Jeremy. I've never met you before. Nice to meet you.
We've met last year too. If you hadn't canceled our show like that we were going to do, the 3 of us, then it would have gone. It'd be a whole lot easier. But you totally canceled that.
I did.
We did 2 episodes. We booked George South to the moon, and you canceled.
You guys were pushing the shit out of George South.
Have you not? Bro, do you know why? Have you seen it? He wrestled Jimmy Lloyd the other day, guys.
Yeah, that's epic.
He was wrestling. I mean, he wrestles every year at that show. It's great.
It's so good. I can't wait for this year too. What's going to happen? I know they've been the program that's been building up for him is George Jr. just turned on him, bro. His son just turned his back on him a couple months ago, and now they're feuding. So hopefully we get a big blow off for that. That'll probably be the day after as well. That's the Sunday night closer, man. You gotta, dude. If you're there, you have to go to that. It's going to be great.
If I'm there, I'll go to the shows. It's just a matter.
Bandito's on it. I think Bandito's on it, isn't he?
Okay. I don't know the
versus
lineup.
Gustavo. Pretty sure that's been announced for it.
I have no idea what the lineup is.
I know they do the women's show during at lunchtime, I think too, usually. And that's usually a lot of fun. But yeah, you missed last year, bro. You left early. I know you didn't see George South versus Colby in that death match.
No, I did not. I might say this year because I'm more, thanks to Jensen, inundated with the indie stuff. So I need to stick around for brand purposes of hanging out with the indie wrestlers and supporting indie wrestling.
Yeah, you should definitely do as much put over Tracy and those guys at AML as you can. Get as much of their stuff, dude. Those guys are the best. They're absolutely the best.
They are great. They're always very friendly to us. Cass, I'd ask you what the coolest thing in your room is, but I feel like you've just showed a million things.
One of them is this, which Sean gave me that when we were in Chicago because it about hit him.
That's the show. Who wielded is that a Gage tube?
I think this was the Effie Gage match. I think that first year, that first year there in Chicago. I think that was from that. But I got tons of good stuff. I got a Mr. Sacco that's signed back there that he gave me. One of my favorites though is probably this. This can here. Where do you think this came from?
Sandman?
Yeah, it's a Sandman can.
Yeah.
From my I guess that was 2015. There was a show, House of Hardcore, March 7th, 2015. Whichever one that was, it was like a Hardcore 7, House of Hardcore 7, maybe. I think it was the main event was Dirty Heels, so it was Bobby Roode and the Aries versus the Young Bucks. So it was that one. And I was up there just for it was my birthday, so my buddy was like, let's go hang out and let's go to the show. So I rode up there, and we had front row seats. And at the end, Sandman comes out drunk as fuck to do his beer bash celebration, with everybody. And he gets right there in the corner. He's just yelling right down at us. And he's like, get the fuck in here. And I'm looking around is he fucking Sandman talking to me? Because he's yelling at me. I'm like, guys, is he talking to me? And he's like, yeah, you motherfucker, get the fuck in here. So I'm like, oh, this is that ECW. We're all going to jump the rail and go hang out with Sandman moment. So I'm like, fuck yeah. So I hop it. And I'm like, oh, fuck, is Atlas going to tackle me? And I'm looking at the Atlas security guy, and he's like, just like shaking his head, like, God damn it. You know, like, so I'm like, well, you can't get me. All right, it's time to get in the ring. And I'm like, all right, do I slide under and try to look like a badass, or do I just like hop up here and step through the ropes? I'm like, you're going to fuck it up if you try to slide. Just step through. So I step through, and right as I get through, Sandman's like chucked 2 beers at me. There's like, and they like hit me in the chest. I'm like, fuck, okay. And I look down, and my buddy was trying to dive in and slide like a badass, and he gets his arm hooked, and he literally like whoop, and just launches him right back into the fucking floor. And I'm like, oh shit, oh man. So I was like, that's why I didn't want to do that. That was what happened to me. Oh man. So like now, like he gets back in there, and like I thought more people were coming, but it's just like this one random kid that I didn't know, and my buddy Mark, and the 2 of us are just like in the ring. And I'm like, nobody else, all right. So it's just like the 3 of us like having a beer bash with Sandman and the Young Bucks and the Dirty Heels, and the Bucks are just like not here for it because they don't drink, and
they don't drink.
They're just like fuck. And they both gave me their beers. So like now Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson are just like, you can have these. And just like give me their beers and like high five and leave. So now I've got like 4 beers. And I'm like, all right. Well. And Sandman's screaming at me how to drink these beers. So like I go over there and we do a little in the middle of the ring, and I'm just like chugging beers with everybody for like 30 minutes basically. Like Sandman had a case of Tall Boys, and we had to finish the case. And we were just in there just drinking beer with Sandman and Bobby Roode, who was pissed at everybody for some reason, and Austin Aries, this is Austin Aries. We didn't talk to him, but he was there. He was probably mad that it wasn't fucking red wine anyway, whatever. But yeah, and that can came from that, and I was leaving with it. I just put it in my hoodie, and the guy was like, "You can't carry that out," and I was like, "Dude, I was drinking this in the ring with Sandman." He's like, "All right, you can leave with that." So he was like. But yeah, like everybody was like, "Why? How did you know Sandman?" I was like, "I didn't, dude. Like, I had no fucking clue." But he came, but me and like 2 other people. Like I had like 6 people with me, and I'm like, "Guys, where the fuck were you? Why didn't anybody come with me?" He's like, "I don't know, man." And one buddy said, one of my buddies, I don't remember this part of it. He claims that he tried to get in the ring, but like Bobby Roode gave him a dirty look. And I'm like, dude, he was giving everybody dirty looks. What the fuck are you doing? Like, just get in the ring. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, I got up there. And I was like, I don't know. When he got down, I was like, dude, if you did that, if you got over the guardrail, why not fucking get in the ring? Like, what are you doing? So anyway, I was there. That was fun. So that was one of my claim to fame like moments. And that's probably my coolest 2 things is that can, just because like probably not many other people could be like, yeah, I had a beer bash in the middle of a ring at the ECW arena with the Sandman. So yeah, that's out there. That's cool. And the Bucks remember me from that too. They're always like, "You're the guy that drank our beers, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." Later, years later, when I'm at these fucking scrums and shit, they're always like, "I know this guy from somewhere." And when I was hanging out with everybody at the hotels and shit, and they would see me, I'm like, they always would try to figure it out and piece it. I'd always remind them, like, remember ECW thing at the thing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, you drank our beer." Like, yeah, I drank your beers. That was me.
Cass, you have stories for days. We just need to do a segment on the show. Just Cass shares a story.
I had lots of them, but a lot of the times I don't remember them until something like somebody says something. If somebody's like, "Give me some good stories," I'm like, I got like 4. But like, if you guys are like asking me shit, I'll be like, "Oh, something will click," and I'll be like, "I got something on that," and I'll have something for you. But as far as me, like everybody's like, "You need to write a book, man." I'm like, dude, I wish I could remember. I wish I could remember shit. I should have done this 20 years ago. I should have been writing stuff down. But I never did. But
Cass, let everyone know where they can find you at if they'd like to find you.
Dude, you guys can find me online at Casshole, CASSHOOOLE. That's 3 O's in there on everything. I'm all over the place. 3 O's. And bodyslam.net. Find us there too, man. At bodyslam.net on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit, man. We're everywhere. We're out there. I've been gone for a month, man. This is like literally the first sighting I've had. Has anybody seen me since your wedding?
You have a great Kevin Smith look going on. So,
dude, I really do. People are always like, who do you look like? Who's your doppelganger? I'm like, really? You guys don't know? All right.
You clean up nice though. You looked very nice at the wedding.
Yeah, at the wedding, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
It's like,
appreciate it.
man, Cat, look how Cass cleans up. Look at this,
Yeah,
man.
I had fun, man. That was so much fun. I had such a good time at your wedding, man. I had a blast with you guys. That was a good trip.
Let's get married again, just so everybody.
Oh, you should. All right, is everybody coming down for the holiday to see your parents, or just you?
No, it'll probably just be me. So it'll just be me at WrestleCade and everything. If anybody comes, it'll just be the wife. The kids will stay here and hang out with grandma or something. But I'm pretty sure it'll just be me this year. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna try to. We're definitely gonna try to do a show next year. This year with like wedding planning and wedding money, we weren't able to do because we wanted to do all out, but just wedding stuff kind of took precedent over that. Next year, we're definitely gonna try to hit up some shows though.
Yeah, man. Let me know. I'm planning on being more active and mobile like this year. I guess I took another break. The first year I was broken back, so I didn't do shit for 6 months. And
I swear you went to an event like every single week this year. I swear,
dude, I didn't do anything from Hammerstein till Las Vegas because I couldn't move. To Atlantic City the week after your birthday or after your wedding.
Mox and Gage.
I was planning on doing that, and had a little bit of. I could have gone just kind of floated, but I had a little. My buddy that I was going with had to back out, so I was like, "Ooh, that kind of throws a wrench in the whole." You know what I mean? In my plans. But I mean, that is just lost motivation too. I was like not really feeling it. So I haven't done shit since your wedding. And before that, I only did the Vegas trip and Chicago. So I did 2 Chicago. So it seemed like I did a lot this year because I did the Forbidden Door and All Out within like a month of each other, 2 months in Chicago.
I'm sure we'll see you at shows next year.
Yeah, and I thought about doing Full Gear, but I don't think I'm going to do that one. Anybody? You guys? Are you?
No one wants to go.
No one wants to go to Newark.
Washing my house.
Jersey's. Yeah, so everybody's gonna be disappointed. They're not gonna see me in Jersey apparently again this year.
But in Atlanta we have Impact Hard to Kill. Is that the show Hard to Kill? Is that the one that's coming up?
Yeah, when is that?
Is that in January? Yeah, there's like the January Impact. They're at center stage, so I'll probably go to that. So if you're
in January, if it's in January, I'll definitely be going to that. I think.
Yeah.
I've just been decided this month I'm just gonna take it low until time for WrestleCade. I've just been doing stuff locally, man. There's this in Asheville. There's a local indie that I'm really big on, Urban Combat Wrestling. They got some good stuff here, man. It's just a bunch of local guys. It's like White Mike.
Tell them to like send me results and stuff. I'm trying to do, more indie results and whatnot, or you send me results. Yeah. Give me. Some
I can do it. I can just remind me. They got a show. They do 1 or 2 a month, but I mean, it's just there's just a bunch of local guys, man. It's the core roster is just a bunch of local people from the Asheville, Kingsport, Johnson City area, South Carolina. But man, they do what they got's fucking fun, man. Like I do as many indies as I go to. I love these guys. I love what they do at this show, and it's just a bunch of just local guys that are really good on the mic, that are just captivating, and it's just really fun. So I'll send you some of their stuff, man. I'm hoping to help with them and get them back online. They don't have much online from their product, but it's really good. They do it's kind of like Bodyslam. It's a rap or wrestling kind of thing, where they have like local rap artists and people that come on. They'll do a song, and then they'll have matches, and they'll do a song, and they'll have some matches. But it's good. Just Black-owned wrestling promotion in Asheville, and I love what they do. So this has been mostly all I've done the last couple of months, is just go to Asheville and watch them. So if you're in the Asheville, North Carolina area, man, and you see an Urban Combat show, I really think you should check it out. It's fun. You won't be disappointed. You might not know any of the names, but that's fun. You'll be fun. You'll have a blast. I promise. So
there you go. Check them
out. Put over my local, man. My local talent. That's all I'm going to say. But these guys do good things, and I really hope everybody can find them. So
send me some results. I'd love to show them some love on Fightful. Cass, thank you as always. You won't be back on the show ever again.
Don't need to. Don't need to be.
Thanks, buddy.
Nobody needs to talk to me. Love you guys.
We love you. Everyone follow Cass. Everyone check out bodyslam.net. Guys, we'll be right back here on the big shout out, as always, to Cass. We love him, even though he's never appearing on the show. Again, another person we love, Hannah, Hope everything is well. Share Delaware. You know our Share Delaware. Hope everything is good with you, Share. You are safe and sound. And I will message you, and I'm sure the wife will message you. And again, hope everything went well this morning. Guys, thank you for joining us here today on the show. Let's get the plugs out of the way. Go to FightfulOverbooked.com. I just posted the second to last episode of the series. Deep dive into CM Punk against Jon Moxley, which seems like it's going to be CM Punk's last match in AEW and potentially last match in wrestling. So go check that out. Deep dive into that, all that went into it, the technical aspect that went into that. A lot of other stuff going up on Fightful Overbooked. We get new content daily over there. Go over there, subscribe, leave us thumbs up on videos, all that fun stuff. Subscribe to Fightful Select. Sean's got a bunch of news coming. Go to Fightful.com where we have just news all the damn time. We have Day After Dynamite later on today at 3 p.m. Eastern with the great Will Washington. I'm sure I'll be doing a run-in on that show. That's 3 p.m. right here, youtube.com/Fightful. Will Washington, Day After Dynamite, reviewing last night's Dynamite with some notes and some ratings talk and things of that nature. Grapsody is tomorrow at noon. That is Friday at noon as opposed to Saturday due to WWE Crown Jewel. The Saudis have forced Grapsody to move days. I feel Grapsody is more important than WWE Crown Jewel, and I feel like they should just do their show anyway, and Peacock can deal with it. Grapsody should be on Peacock is what I'm trying to get at here. So check out Grapsody. That is usually Saturdays at noon. It is tomorrow at noon this week. I think that is everything. Don't follow me on Twitter. I don't need more followers. I don't want more followers. Allison did leave a super chat. It says, I haven't seen Cody Rhodes. Where has he been since he left his own company, AEW, created with fellow wrestlers? He's hurt. He had a torn pectoral muscle. He's out of action right now. He last wrestled at Hell in a Cell. No idea when he's going to come back. But when he does come back, he's going to defeat Logan Paul at WrestleMania and then defeat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That's the story for Cody Rhodes. He's going to win the Royal Rumble and then go on to defeat Logan Paul and then defeat Roman Reigns. That's what's going to happen with the roller coaster. As thank you, as always, for joining us. We'll be back next week with a new episode of The Spotlight, talking all the world of professional wrestling, WWE, AEW, other, which could be NWA. They have a show coming up, allegedly. MLW, they're back, allegedly. Impact Wrestling, they're always running shows. New Japan is a big show this week, actually. It's going to be a busy November 5th for me. New Japan is a show. Independent Wrestling, head over to Fight TV, Fight Plus, subscribe. IWTV, subscribe. Use the code Fight Talk, and we'll be interviewing somebody. Could be a wrestler. Could be somebody who just creates some content. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later next week.